So let us have a strategy session. So I would be covering the whole 30-month roadmap for UPSC. So 30-month doesn't mean that we have to take 2.5 years for preparation. It's just an practical strategy for how to approach CSE preparation in a streamlined and structured manner. So first of all, let me introduce myself. I am Manoj GS. I have studied from Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya, Mavinkere, Hassan, and also graduated from NITK Surathkal in the year 2023. So after that, I have been preparing for UPSC. So I have given 3 attempts and cleared all 3 prelims, and I have written 3 mains, and I have given 2 interviews, and finally I was able to secure All India rank 389, for which I will be getting IPS this time. So in all my 3 attempts, in my first attempt, the score was around 95. That was in the year of 2023, which was nearly 20 marks above the general cutoff. So that year cutoff was 75. And in my second attempt, the score was around 100, whereas the cutoff was around 85. And in my third attempt, this year's attempt, so the cutoff is around 92, I guess, and my score was 110. So this I am giving to give you the confidence that if you follow the strategy that I am telling, there are chances that if you implement it in the right way, there are chances that you can also score 15-20 marks above the cutoff, which will ensure that those 15 days between the prelims and mains, where we will be having the anxiety of the prelims result, we won't be having that anxiety, because we will be knowing that we will be clearing the cutoff no matter what the cutoff will be. So, and in mains, in my first mains, I wrote soon after my graduation, and I was able to score 666 marks. So, and from there I have improved it to 777. So that is a jump of almost 110 marks, and I feel like 780 is a respectable score, but 800 should be anyone's target if you are preparing for mains and if you are aspiring for IAS. So in interview also, I was able to improve my score from 150 to 190, 150 in 2024 and 190 in 2025, which helped me keep myself in the list this time. And also another thing, in optional, my optional is public administration. I scored 190, which was one of the lowest scores for those who gave interview in 2024. From 192, I was able to improve it to 270. So which is a jump of 80 marks. That means you can see here that I have struggled in my own ways. So I have found it difficult to understand what the process demands, and I have struggled with my own conceptual understanding, analysis. So I was an absolute beginner, because you know that if you know anything about UPSC, you know that even the worst people, if you write optional, they will get 220, and getting 190 is like going below average that. So from there to pick myself up of nearly 80 marks jump in 1 year shows the necessity of that hard work, of the right approach, the right direction and mentorship as well. So in this session, I will be trying to address nearly 50 to 60 questions related to UPSC preparation. So let's start the session. So, and in my case, I have to give you a disclaimer. What I have tried to do in this session is that I have tried to universalize the approach. That is, it's not my approach. I have read humongous number of topper copies over my last 4 years, and I have read a lot of topper strategies. So from those strategies, whatever point that I can bring under a common roof, I have tried to do it here. That means irrespective of your level of preparation, irrespective of your background, irrespective of where do you stand right now, you would be able to apply this approach. And secondly, this approach works only if you are able to give 10 to 12 hours of dedicated efforts minimum on a consistent basis. That is because this effort will ensure success, but at the same time, it is very grueling. That means you have to push yourself to ensure that the success is in your hands, especially after how competitive UPSC has become. over the last few years, it has become a compulsion and it has become a necessity that we are giving those 10 to 12 dedicated hours. And I really don't believe in the concept that like you can put 5-6 hours of effort and then qualify the exam. That is because the game has changed so much. The competition has become so brutal. There are people with multiple interviews who are giving 15 hours of effort, and then we can't compromise on our side of efforts in this case for this preparation. So let's start. Firstly, let me give you a roadmap of the UPSC preparation, and your complete way of thinking about UPSC preparation changes here. That is because one of the biggest mistake the UPSC aspirants do will be found out here. That is, let's say we are an absolute beginner. We are starting our preparation right now. So if you are starting our preparation right now, first of all, we will start with NCERT books and standard books. So when we are starting with NCERT books and standard books, that is, first, I always suggest, the first question is, coaching. Should we take coaching or not? The first question is that usually, and my answer to that is, it depends on where you stand. That is, first of all, try to read NCERT books on your own. First of all, try to cover Lakshmikant, Spectrum, any book on your own. Then, according to the subject where you are finding it difficult, then approach the coaching. That is, if you take coaching for all the subjects, then what happens is that sometimes because of how hectic it is going to be, sometimes we may struggle with our own understanding. That is one of the most important point that we have to remember in UPSC process is that it is completely against spoon feeding. That is, you can't expect like even the best India's best mentors to come and teach you and immediately understand everything. That means only when you put the efforts, only when you try to analyze things on your own, only when you do some research. Let's say you are reading NCERTs, you came across a new keyword. Stop there, analyze that keyword. Analyze in the sense, what is analysis? Go to Google, do some basic research. Go to ChatGPT, ask what it is. If you don't understand even then, go to YouTube and see some videos. Then move on to the next part. So rather than having a schedule like in 30 days I will complete Lakshmikant. So what happens is that we will, let's say we completed half the portion in 25 days. Now we will be under the rush to complete the remaining half in 5 days without any understanding. And in UPSC mains, how many subjects are there? Nearly 17 subjects are there. So do you think it is easy to remember all the subjects? So it would be very difficult to do it manually. So that is why only if you understood the subject, then you would be able to remember it and put it in the examination all as well. And at the same time, let's say there are people who say that like, I will go for 3 readings of NCERTs, 3 readings of Lakshmikant and economics. So what happens is that if you know that like there are 17 subjects, one reading itself will take 1 year. The second reading, third reading will take another 1 year, second reading and third reading combined. So just by reading the foundational books only, we will be taking nearly 2 years. So that is why, like, rather than doing that, what happens is that when we are starting our first reading, we will think that anyways I have second and third reading to do. So we will just rush the first reading. And when you are doing the second reading, we will think that the first reading, I have already completed the first reading. So I will just complete the second reading also. And the third reading will be a revision reading. So we will be like, we won't be focusing on concepts. We are just focusing on the revision. So what happens is that there you are completing 3 readings, but you are not understanding the concepts in depth. That is why the first time only, even if it takes, let's say your target was 20 days and it takes 40 days, it's fine. Focus on understanding. So that is why don't run into coaching from the earliest days. When you are in college only, if you are very sure about UPSC preparation, then think of starting NCERT books. NCERT books can be read and understood by anyone, right? Irrespective of your background, because all of us have completed class 12th. So class 11th and 12th books would be, we could, like if you put our own efforts, we would be able to understand it. So that is why I'm telling. So focus on your own reading, NCERT standard books, and then if you join the coaching, whatever the teacher is teaching you, you would be able to understand it, grasp it even better. So that is why the first aspect is don't expect spoon feeding. Don't think the coaching is the magical solution. Coaching is just a complementary and supplementary aspect of your preparation. Coaching just give you a foundation for your preparation. Coaching is not the magic solution that is going to make you clear the exam. And also, because like let's say like there are 1 lakh, 2 lakh people taking coaching every year, then why isn't everyone clearing the exam? Because we have to understand another aspect here. So let's take this as the foundation. So that is whatever we do in this phase, the foundation, and this is also foundational aspect. That is basic reading of your optional. So this is also your foundational aspect. Whatever we do during this phase is just the foundation. That means for any home, the foundation has to be very strong. Whatever you want to build in the future on that home. But once you build the home, foundation won't be visible, right? The same way, after you start your prelims and mains preparation, your foundation is very important, but at the same time, whatever you do after your foundation is what is going to make you clear prelims, mains, and interview. That is, don't confuse your foundational preparation with UPSC preparation. Foundational preparation is the knowledge aspect of the preparation, and prelims and mains preparation is the wisdom aspect of your preparation. What is knowledge? Let's say there are 4 dots. So 4 dots are the 4 dots of knowledge. That means every time you read something, you are gaining a dot. And what is wisdom? Your ability to interconnect them. So this is the wisdom aspect. So in prelims, mains, what matters is the wisdom to interconnect points. So that is, if you see GS3, now questions are getting interconnected with society, geography questions, environment questions are coming in geography GS1, and then social justice questions are coming in GS1 as well, like that. So now we have to start interconnecting the points. And even in prelims, they are interconnecting environment with, let's say, mapping. So which are completely different areas. So that is how we should start analyzing the things here. And another aspect, so what I'm telling is now with respect to the foundational aspect only. So now let's say we have completed this aspect. Now what happens is that now becomes the most critical aspect is your PYQ. From most of the strategy sessions of toppers, like you may have seen that PYQ analysis is non-negotiable in UPSC preparation. But we have to understand how to do it. We know what to do, that is PYQ analysis, but how to do it. That is, for every mains question, let's say after completing this reading, one reading you have completed, after completing one reading, for every mains question, let's say take GS1, GS1 2025, question number 1. Take this question, copy paste it into Google. Google will give you multiple results with respect to some institutes, model solutions and all. Then copy paste it to ChatGPT as well. Then first sit down and think for 2 minutes. So I have read governor. Let's say the first question is on governor. So I have completed governor. So what points from what I have read so far can I bring in this answer? So governor, basic in NCERT, in Lakshmikant, what do you read? You read about Article 153, Article 200, then governor some issues, and then the committees. Those certain Sarkariya committee and all, like you will read about them. When you are talking about, Pucci committee and all, you read about them in Lakshmikant. Now, when you do it for 2-3 minutes, that is brainstorm, or just scribble it down for 2-3 minutes. Then use 2-3 different websites of different institutions to look at the model solutions. Why? Why? Because when you look at 2-3 different institutes model solutions, so some institute may have a very good introduction and conclusion. Some institute may have very good examples, recent examples, and some institute may have integrated thinkers. So now what is happening is that now your preparation is moving away from this phase, the foundational phase, towards building your mains perspectives. That is, now you are looking at dimensions, perspectives, examples. So like that. So that is do it for question number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what happens is that now when you do it for question number 1, from here your note making start. That is why in this phase don't take any notes. Don't take any notes in the beginning only, because you don't know what to take notes for. You are just noting down everything that you have read into your notes. So what happens is that most of the beginner aspirants, if they prepare for 1 year, they waste their 6 months only on note making, which they are never going to read again. So don't commit that mistake. So that is why when you are taking notes in year, your notes should start from when you start analyzing the PYQ. So this part is called as the transitional phase. This is something we call as inflection point in economics. So inflection point is wherever the curve starts picking up. So that is called as an inflection point, or the curve changes its direction. So that is an inflection point. So here, this is the inflection point for our preparation. Now let's say this concept is governor. In 2025, they have asked a question on governor. When we are doing the same thing, we have completed 20 questions from 2025. Now we are going to GS1 24, GS1 23, like that. In 23 also, let's say they have asked a different question on governor. So what we should do then is that now create a digital notes. I will explain it detailed under the theme of governor. So the governor is a theme here. So now let's say here you picked some 5 to 10 points when you are doing question analysis number 1. So the same governor theme is getting repeated, and now you are doing, now you are adding some 2-3 more points. So by the time you complete PYQ analysis only, for any important PYQ theme, you would be having minimum 15 to 20 points. 20 points, 20 example, 5-10 examples. Out of those 20 points, 5-10 will be example, data, statistics, committee reports, like that. So, and you also please use ChatGPT or any AI for supplementing your answers as well. So now what is happening is that initially when you start writing an answer, what happens is that you only have 5-10 points in this phase for governor, let's say. And you are trying to replicate all of them in your answers, which becomes a humongous task. But let's say because you have done PYQ analysis, now you have 15 to 20 points. And out of them, you have to replicate only 10 points in your answer. So wouldn't it be more easier compared to this aspect? This is more easier because you have options, points to choose from. So that is, let's say if you have 20 points, you can pick out 10 points and write them. So this is what the difference. So that is why don't get demotivated in the beginning only if you are not able to write good answers. So it's a cycle. So what happens? It's feedback loop. You write, you analyze one PYQ, you gain some 2-3 points. Analyze another PYQ, 2-3 points, and then you write a test series. From there you will pick another 2-3 points. Like that you will be having plethora of points and examples. So this is a process. So don't expect yourself to be a master from the beginning. So you will improve gradually in here. So this is how PYQ analysis should be done. So that is every question of PYQ from 2025 till 2013. Why 2025 to 13 and not 13 to 25? Because you should be solving the most recent ones first. Then when you go to 2024, 23, 22, and when you go to 18, 17, you will be able to see how the pattern has evolved and changed over the years. That is how most recent papers are set and how the previous papers used to be set. Now you will understand how UPSC's thought process also has evolved. So this is what we should be doing in the PYQ phase, and this is our mains preparation. So this is before our prelims preparation. Prelims preparation happens usually from Jan to May 24, right? Jan 1 to May, like that is usually 6 months are dedicated for prelims preparation. So before doing this, we should be doing this aspect, because we should be mains ready before our prelims, because it doesn't matter if you get 150 marks in prelims. If you are not doing well in mains, our attempt is wasted, right? our attempt is gone. That is why we should be focusing on dedicated mains preparation. That is from the month of June of the previous year till the December, we should be focusing dedicatedly on mains preparation. And what do we mean by mains preparation is the PYQ analysis. Because from what I am telling right now, you may have understood that analyzing each PYQ itself will take around minimum 15 to 20 minutes. That is, you have to look at 3-4 different websites. Then you have to use ChatGPT and AI and other platforms to supplement your answer. But if you have done this, for 6 months, I can assure you your 70 to 80% of your mains preparation is already done. 70 to 80% is already done. Because what happens is that in mains, nearly 70% of the questions are directly from PYQ themes. Go to like GS2 or GS1, any 2025 papers. GS2, let's go to GS2 only. Look at the themes that are there. Nearly 17 out of the themes, out of 20 questions, 17 out of 20 questions were directly from PYQs. The questions were more analytical, more advanced, but they were from the PYQ themes. That is why there were less surprises and there were more predictability. So that is why focus on PYQ analysis for 6-7 months. That is, even if you take 1 month per GS, it is fine. But you have to ensure that you are doing it for every GS 1, 2, 3, 4, and you are doing it for essay, and you are doing it for optional as well. That is from 2013 to 25. So you will be having nearly 240 questions to analyze. So if you have analyzed, because the themes get repeated, let's say governor itself will come around 5 times. So your time will get reduced as you analyze pattern, analyze again and again. And once you identify that pattern, your time gets reduced. Let's say first question analysis took 20 minutes. Then 100th question analysis will take just 5-10 minutes. Like that, your time will reduce. Don't worry about that. Just focus on dedicated PYQ analysis. That is, each keyword in PYQ should be understood. So each keyword in PYQ should be understood and should be done thorough analysis on. This is what we mean by analysis. That is looking at different dimensions, different perspectives. Because initially, when we complete the standard books, we don't have perspectives. We have knowledge, but we don't have dimensions and perspectives. How to develop that? Initially through PYQ analysis. After that, when you write tests, after that when you talk to peers, you will develop it accordingly. And then comes the prelims preparation. So now from January till June, you have to prepare for June, in the sense May 24 is almost June. So till then you have to prepare for prelims. So in prelims, usually what we should be doing for the first 2 months is that we should be completely focusing on PYQ. Just like we focused on the questions in mains, now in PYQ, don't worry about the questions, solutions, options, anything. Take every question, take every keyword in the question. So like I will give you an example. So I will look at this quote. This is, if we have 8 hours to cut down a tree, we should spend 6 hours sharpening the axe. That is because if you sharpen the axe and if you hit it in the right angle, then you would be able to cut that tree far more easily than using a blunt axe. And another aspect, I will give you a live example of how PYQ analysis should be done for prelims. I will cover it thoroughly, don't worry. Prelims, complete prelim strategy also. Yeah, so let's take this as an PYQ. It's not a PYQ. It's the question that I prepared on my own. Let's take this as a PYQ. So now what happens usually is that when students do PYQ analysis for prelims, what they do is that they will look at the question, they will look at the solution, they will look at some model solution, they think that they have analyzed PYQ. So this is a mistake, because we are not analyzing PYQs, we are just imitating PYQs. We are just trying to take the knowledge out of the PYQ, then just try to expect similar questions in the prelims and then write the prelims. But that shouldn't be the case. In here, now go by the keyword. Let's say the first keyword is superposition. Then what do we mean by quantum states? Even for a beginner, they may not be aware of what is quantum states. Then go. What is quantum entanglement? Stop here. Do research. That is, go to Google, go to ChatGPT, do research on what entanglement means. Now, if you do entanglement, you will get these words also. So, what is happening is that if you just research on superposition, when you are doing research on superposition, for sure you will be getting knowledge on entanglement, knowledge on decoherence, space-time curvature and all, because they are integrated topics. The same way for any topic, history, geography, mapping, let's say you are doing Africa map analysis. So if you are doing a analysis on Congo, if you are doing it for one place, you will get analysis for other places also. That is why, like this year, I guess, last year or 2024, there was a question on Himalayan ecosystem. Which of these 4 national parks have similar flora and fauna, similar flora? So in those questions, do you really think it is we will be able to remember 200 national parks and know about their flora, know about their fauna? So it doesn't happen, right? So what we should be doing there is that we should be analyzing. So if we see Arunachal Pradesh, where does it lie? What is its average height? Once we know that, we would be able to connect that Himachal Pradesh may also be on the similar height. So then we are thinking interconnective thoughts. That is, we are able to analyze things. So rather than completely chasing behind knowledge, what we should be focusing on is interconnecting points. So how does interconnections happen? When we do key to word to word analysis. So take superposition, analyze, or take quantum states, quantum entanglement, frequency shifts. So when you do analysis for this, now you are not analyzing a question, you are analyzing a theme. So what happens is that in prelims, out of 100 questions, nearly 40 to 50 will be directly from PYQ themes. More than that, but what I'm telling is directly from PYQ themes is 40 to 50. Another 20 will be indirectly from PYQ themes. So that is nearly 60 questions. Nearly 60 questions are from PYQ themes. So especially for prelims, 2025 to 2013 analysis we should be doing. Then we should be moving on to, for some question, for some subjects like polity, history, we should be moving on to another aspect, that is till 1990s. Because polity and history are static subjects, right? So even some questions from 1990s can get repeated in 2026. This happened. 1994 PYQ got directly repeated in 2025, if you know. So like that. So for static aspects, we should be going until 1990s. So this is what sharpening the axe for prelims is about. That is, first, rather than chasing thousands of PDFs, rather than chasing different materials or writing test blindly, first, only when we have done this thorough analysis, then we would be able to clear the exam. I will give you a very good example for that also, because what happened was that in April 24 last year, the result came for UPSC. So within next 16 days were for KS mains. So most of the people who from Karnataka who got UPSC results and were not in the list, they also wrote KS mains. So that is till May 10th they wrote KS mains. After May 10th, so there was only 12-13 days left for prelims. That is May 24 was the prelims examination. But within 10 days, out of the people who have already given interview, nearly 9 people were able to, out of 10 people, 9 people were able to clear prelims. Why? Like others are putting 6 months effort and these people are putting only 10 days efforts and they're clearing prelims. Why? And if you have seen the pattern, if you have seen the trend, let's say first attempt you didn't clear prelims, second attempt you didn't clear prelims. Third attempt if you clear prelims, again there is very less chance that you won't be clearing prelims again. That means if you clear prelims once, you have understood something, that will make you clear prelims again and again. What is the reason? So the reason is that once you have a very strong PYQ analysis, strong trend analysis, you know what to expect in the prelims, what to read and what not to read. That is, I always give this beautiful example. That is, let's say, if you go through the international organization only, there are 200 international organizations, nearly 200 to 300, that we study for UPSC. If you go to any current affairs magazine, you will see like minimum 50 international organizations. But do you think it is humanly possible to know about their beginning, where is their headquarters located, and what do they do? It's not possible. But even if you cover all the 200, the UPSC will come up with a new organization like World Toilet Organization. So that is why I am saying you should develop the ability to analyze things. That is, once you have done the PYQ analysis, now you know which areas to focus on and which areas to leave. What to read for prelims, which areas have stronger return on investment. What is return on investment? Return on investment is if you are spending 1 hour, what is the amount of marks that you can expect from what you are studying? That is, let's say PYQs are there, some random test series is there. The return on investment on PYQ is nearly 5 to 10 times than the same return on investment spent on test series. That is why even now, because most of you are writing prelims in 2026, even now your focus should be to ensure that you are doing PYQ analysis again. Because if you don't understand, the UPSC is giving you on plate, these are the questions you can expect questions from. These are the themes you can expect questions from. And still we are reading some random current affairs, random materials. That shouldn't be the case. Even now, as a second round of revision, we should be doing PYQ analysis. And in PYQ analysis, I will tell you, there are 2 ways to do that. This is simple approach only. That is, in PYQ analysis, so here is the first phase. There are 2 ways to do that. One is year-wise. Note it down, this is very important. Year-wise and subject-wise. So what we will do here is that first in the first 2 months, January and February, we will take PYQ subject-wise. So let's say economy, we are taking banking, we are taking the, in polity we are taking the institutions of governance. So in economy, we are taking the environmental organizations. Like that, we are completing subject-wise PYQs. That is because when we cover it subject-wise, we are completing a subject and we know how to track it. So for example, we took 10 days for PYQ analysis on environment. Next 10 days for economy. It may not be this rigid. What I am telling is just a roadmap. So this is how we should be doing in the first 2 months. In the next 2 months, we should be going year-wise. So in the next 2 months, in the sense, in the next 4 months, especially in April and May, we should be doing year-wise, because now we are trying to sit down and solve it as an exam. That is, we are trying to solve all the 100 questions from that year. So now, if we solve 2025 and if we solve 2018, now we are able to see how UPSC has changed the way of asking questions. So then we will be able to predict the next questions. So let's say UPSC was difficult this year, 2018. This is 2020. Then 25. Then you can expect the areas of question in 2026 through the analysis, through year-wise analysis. So this is how we should be approaching PYQs for prelims. So in this PYQs, there are 4 pillars. We will discuss that as well. So, and the next months after prelims, that is next 3 months, if you clear prelims, June, July, August will be spent on your mains preparation, complete 3 months. And the next 3 months will be for interview preparation. So this is even, let's say you are not even taking 12 months here, you are just taking 9 months. And here you may complete it by 5 months. That is, this is not a rigid approach, but this is a standard approach that usually everyone follows. And now we understand where do people go wrong. Why do people take so many attempts and still couldn't qualify the whole process? Is because rather than moving on to these 3-4 phases, okay, like these 2 phases, that is phase number 3 and 4, people are stuck in these 2 phases only. Subject 1, so I have completed subject 1 today. Subject 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 17 subjects. You are trying to cover all of them. By the time you complete subject number 5, your 1 is forgotten. By the time you complete subject number 6, your 2 is forgotten. So again, after completing 17 subjects, we will be like, I have forgotten everything. Then again, we will start with subject number 1. Again, we will be stuck in this loop only. See, like this is just the foundation. It doesn't matter if you build your foundation with gold, titanium, aluminum, anything. It is foundation only. This is where your true preparation happens. So what happens? I will say in mains, after completing a subject, we will try to write an answer. So we write an answer, we write such an horrible answer, we will be like, I don't know anything about this subject. Again go back to Lakshmikant. Again read the Lakshmikant again for 1 month. Then in prelims we write one test, mock test or one PYQ. After completing these two, we will write one mock test. We will get very poor scores. Oh, I don't know anything about environment. I don't know anything about geography. Means you have read it once. You should be reading it once. But you will feel that you don't know anything. But we don't realize is what we don't realize is that when we do it for the first time, it is going to be very difficult. Your first answer is meant to be very horrible. Your first mock test is meant to be very horrible. That is why don't worry about that. Then break that inertia of going into these phases. That is, let's say during your prelims preparation only, most of you like just talk to your friends or like ask yourself only. So what will happen now? Let's say you wrote a test. You got only 5 out of 15 correct in economics. Now again you will go back to the Vivek Singh, trying to cover everything. Read everything. That means from here you are going back to year. You are not sticking here. Here, what are the approaches we should be taking? One is PYQ, practice is there. Then we should be revising. Those aspects are there. We think that this aspect is the revision itself. This is not revision. This is the first and second phases. Revision comes here, not here. So we don't understand that difference. We think that the revision itself is the first phase. And because we are going here, we are not able to dedicate our time here. So out of 6 months for prelims, what happens is that rather than preparing for prelims 6 months, again we are going and dedicating another 2 months here. That means we are preparing for prelims only for 4 months. So this is where our preparation gets misdirected, where it loses its track. So that is why I am saying sustain with whatever the preparation you have been doing. Initial inertia will always be there. Initial inertia for first PYQ analysis, I told you about the 2025 year, right? You feel like you are reading some quantum physics material. The first PYQ analysis. You have read something about governor and the question is completely different about governor. You are not able to understand anything. But by the time you complete 24, 23, 22, 21, you are identifying something. You are finding out the patterns. You are able to connect things better. So this is what the prelim analysis aspect is about. What is analysis? Analysis is looking at year-wise PYQs, then ability to connect them. Your brain will subconsciously connect them, don't worry. But be courageous enough to move into these 2 stages. That is, don't be stuck in stage number 1 and 2. Even if you go, like if you have started your optional preparation, you will feel the same. That is, your optional is something else and your mains question papers are something else. You don't feel the connection between your optional and mains questions papers at all. Mains papers are like some random advanced level questions, but stick to it. You will find 25, 24, 23, 22 difficult, but you will be able to solve 21, 5 questions, 2020, 6 questions, 2019, 7, 8 questions, like that. It is a gradual improvement. That is, there is a very beautiful quote from Martin Luther King. So what is hope? What is trust? Trust is the ability to take the next step even if you don't see the whole staircase. So that is, take the step. Be courageous enough to break this inertia. Everyone will be stuck in this inertia. That is why what I am saying is very controversial. People say you have to revise Lakshmikant 10 times. I don't agree with it. What you have to do is that if you are revising Lakshmikant 10 times, you are not spending enough time on your analysis approach. That is, analysis happens only through PYQs, only through practice. That is why read Lakshmikant 1, 2, 3 times in a dedicated manner for revision and all, but try to understand conceptually, try to put in that effort to understand it in the first reading only. Don't complete it for the sake of completing it. Ensure that when you are giving a first read, you are being very curious enough to look at every keyword. What could this mean? If you don't understand, ask ChatGPT for example. I don't understand this concept. So let's say this is a very simple concept. How many of you have completed polity? Polity. How many of you are writing first attempt? Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Fine. So if you have completed polity, you may not know about this concept. Just Google it. What does it mean? Principle of subsidiarity. So principle of subsidiarity is a concept in the federalism. That is, the power should be with the lowest form of government. And only when the lowest form of government is not able to handle it, then it should be devolved upwards. Devolution usually happens downwards. But you should be devolving upwards only when the lower form of government is not able to handle. Let's say interstate rivers. Do you think a panchayat will be able to handle interstate rivers? So first give it to panchayats. Then if panchayats can't do it, then it should be given to states. States can't also handle interstate rivers. So now it go to the national level. That is, you know about the Article 246, I guess. The lists, central list, state list, concurrent list. You know about them, right? So how does it divided? It is based on the principle of subsidiarity only. Now you came across a concept. Stop there. If you don't understand principle of subsidiarity from Lakshmikant, Google it, ChatGPT, then ask ChatGPT for example. Explain me. So just like I gave you an example about interstate rivers, ChatGPT will also give you an example. Then you will be able to understand better. This is what we should be doing. While reading, while in this phase also, while doing keyword analysis in PYQ also, while doing question analysis in mains also. So this is the approach. So that is where most of the people go wrong. That is, they think that I have prepared for 3-4 years. But why I am not able to clear prelims? Why I am not able to clear mains? Because we are stuck in this phase only rather than moving into stage number 3 and 4. Now let's come to prelims. In prelims there are 4 pillar strategy. So PYQs, I have explained how to approach PYQs, every keyword, and one thing. So I have talked about 1990 to 2025. So in my Telegram group I will share the PYQs of all these years with solutions. So all you have to do is that sit down and put very good amount of effort to do analysis. Then you can also take CDS, CAPF, Geoscientist. Why? Because these are the exams that are conducted by UPSC also. These are the exams, other exams conducted by UPSC. That means if you analyze them, especially for polity, history, economy, geography and all, the static aspect, many questions get repeated directly from here. Minimum every year 4 to 5 questions get repeated. 4 to 5. 4 to 5, you know how humongous that number is, because 4 to 5 itself is 10 marks, additional 10 marks. So that is why we should be doing analysis. These are also PYQ. You are not going into random source. You can start analysis of these CDS from 2016 or 2018. So this will surely complement your UPSC CSE PYQ analysis as well. So then PYQ syllabus coverage is the first part and second part. And for current affairs, you can just go through any monthly magazine or yearly magazine of any standard reputed institution. It doesn't matter because it also comes under foundational aspect only. So now comes the most important pillar that I depended on during my preparation, that is practice. So in practice, yeah, just a minute. So, yeah, please give me a minute. ಆಗಲ್ವಾ ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ ರೀ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಸಕ್ಕ so in practice so usually I followed before practicing we should understand that what is the like mindset of the prelims examination. So then we will understand why practice is necessary. That is, in my JEE days, okay, like most of you may not have written JEE. So what happened was that I was talking to one of my seniors who scored 820 in mains. 820, you know how exceptional that is. So he scored some 820 plus in mains. I was talking to him, like, how did you score that well? So what he said was that during the mains will be 3-hour exam. So what happens, by the time you complete 2 hours, you will be exhausted, saturated, your brain will be comparatively slow compared to the energy that you had in the beginning of the exam. For the first 2 hours, first 2 hours you had good energy. Next, the third hour you don't have energy. So now you are slow, your speed decreases, your quality of point decreases. So you may lose even 2-3 marks there if your quality decreases. But what he said is that rather than writing 20 questions for 3 hours, you used to write 25-30 questions for 4 hours. Why? Why? So that now let's say he is writing the test for 4 hours. So the handling the 3-hour examination becomes very easy. That is, because he has already practiced so many times for 4-hour exams, the 3-hour exams would be a cakewalk for him. So that is the importance of practice. That is the psychology of this exam. That is the ability to handle pressure. That is, most of us, if we talk to your friends only, those who have written prelims, you would realize that they are missing the cutoff by some 2, 3 or 5 marks, 5 to 10 marks. And they have made silly mistakes in the concepts and the questions they knew. They come out of the exam and they are able to solve that question. But in the exam, they are unable to solve the question. Why? Because the pressure of the exam. Another thing, what is prelims? Prelims is about the 60-30-10 approach. So this 60-30-10 approach, it is an approach I usually use. That is, let's say you are getting 60 questions right in prelims. So you will be getting 120 marks, 60 into 2. You are getting 30 questions wrong. That is minus 2 by 3. Which is minus 20, and you are leaving 10 questions into 0, 0. So what will be the total marks? 100. So 100 is good enough in any year, irrespective of any category, right? So now how we have to change the perspective we look prelims from. Now see these 40 questions. That means the UPSC is giving you an opportunity not to know these 10 questions at all. That means the UPSC is begging you to leave these 10 questions. This is a very difficult question. I'm just checking your ability whether you will skip or not, or whether you will take some blind guesses, blind risk or not. UPSC is testing that. There was some species question in 2023. Some random species about ant, bear, something like that. That was meant to be skipped. Many people who attended it got it wrong. And they lost. How much marks did they lose? Their marks 0.26 net loss. The real loss is minus 0.66. If they had gotten it correct, plus 2, the net loss is minus 2.66. That is minimum, like they wouldn't have lost this 0.66. Because in the end, prelims is a game of 1 marks, half marks. That is why your UPSC is checking your ability to leave some questions, show restraint. And in these 30 questions, UPSC is giving you an opportunity to commit mistakes, get them wrong. UPSC is asking you to get them wrong. That is your strength. Your focus should be to get these 120 questions, 60 questions right. Through PYQ analysis, through practice. So that is our focus when we are reading, when we are analyzing. Our focus should be on these 60 questions rather than running behind hundreds of materials for these 40 questions. That is why, some current affairs questions they are asking, I am unable to solve it. What should I do? When you are practicing, you will realize your strengths. My strength lies in economics. My strength lies in polity. I am weak in history. According to your strengths, you will prioritize whether to leave, whether to attempt them and take risks, and whether to strongly attend them. So play according to your strengths. That is through SWOT analysis. I will focus on SWOT analysis also. So this is how we should be prioritizing our, how we should be focusing. That is, UPSC is also checking your ability to prioritize. How are you able to prioritize the questions? Are you taking unnecessary risks? So this is what, see, like when you go to the ground as an IAS IPS officer, one thing we have to handle the extreme pressure. Every day there will be pressure of new ways, new shapes, new faces. But and again, then as a civil servant, we are expected to prioritize things. That is, we will be having hundreds of responsibilities every day. But it is our choice to prioritize the things that matter the most. So that is why that is being already checked in the prelims exam, mains exam, through different means. That is, UPSC is trying to create those qualities within you before you enter the civil services. So we can't expect ourselves to clear the exam today and from tomorrow you will be able to handle all the pressure. UPSC is trying to develop that pressure, that quality from the beginning only. Those who are unable to handle the pressure year on year, they will fail year on year till they learn the ability to handle pressure. Those who take blind guesses without prioritization, they will keep on failing until they know what calculated risks are about. The same way that happens in the ground also. So that is what the psychology of the exam is. Even in mains what happens is you are writing 9 papers back to back. And in ethics it is made lengthier for the same reason. That means if the ethics paper is lengthy because they are checking your true ethics, your true thought process. If you give time, you will manipulate your thought process and write some flowery answers. But if you are given less time, your own thought process comes into the answer. So the UPSC is trying to check that. UPSC is trying to check your ability to, like in mains we use something called as PEPE format. PEPE is what? Point, example, point, example. That is, for any point that you are making, are you substantiating with a right argument, right statistics, right value addition, right fact, like that. That is why they say, right, we shouldn't make any comments without any proper proof. Even as a civil servant, let's say we are forming the roadmap for our country. So do we say that as a civil servant, will we say that we should make India a developed country by 2047? We won't say that. We will say we will do it in 3 phases. In the first phase, for first 5 years, we will invest this much amount on education. So this is how civil servants talk, right? How they explain it to others. The same way in here also. We should develop that quality from the beginning only. That means for any argument that you are making, for any point you are making, you are substantiating with some evidence. So this is the quality that is useful in civil services also. That is what UPSC is trying to check. Go through Animesh Pradhan's copies, go through Aditya Srivatsav. They are toppers for a certain reasons. There are 10 lakh people who prepare, and they are rank 1, rank 2 for a reason. The reason is that they are analytical. They use evidence-based arguments. In Aditya Srivatsav's copies, for every point he is giving an example. So go through his copies, you yourself will realize that. So that is how UPSC is trying to, what is the psychology of the examination is. The psychology of the examination is that they don't want aspirants who are preparing for UPSC. They want officers in the form of UPSC aspirants. That is, you are an officer when you are preparing for UPSC. You are an officer without the tag, that's it. Without the tag or the badge that you are an IAS IPS. So that is, from the day you clear, you don't suddenly become an IAS IPS officer. You will learn through it, through this process only. So this is what UPSC is about. So now I will tell the importance of practice. So the importance of practice is that in UPSC, committing mistakes is non-negotiable. You will commit mistakes. Because what happens is that UPSC is learning from the mistakes. That is, we will commit some mistakes in first attempt. Just like I told, I got only 666 in the first attempt. So then I improved it to 777. Then we will commit mistakes I committed mistakes in interview and I got only 150. I committed so many mistakes there. Then I was able to improve it to 190. We will commit those mistakes irrespective of our level of preparation. But it is our choice whether to commit those mistakes in the examination hall, but or before in the practice itself. That is, let's say you read a question wrong. Rather than reading it as not, you read it as the right correctly only, and you got the question wrong. You will be able to remember it, right? By the next time you attend a test, you will be like, your mind will be like, I should read the questions properly, right? That is, if you commit mistakes before in the practice itself, you won't commit it in the real examination. Your probability of committing it in the real examination decreases. That is why I am emphasizing again, practice becomes the most important pillar here. That is because, see, let's say, in my case, I have practiced something around 40,000 MCQs. I will give you the breakup. 15,000 in 2023. 2023, when I was in college, final year of college, 15,000 in 2024, and 10,000 MCQs in 2025. So that is, why did I solve 15,000 MCQs? Now, because I am a beginner, I don't know anything. In final year of my college, I have just started my preparation, I don't know. But I know that because I am from JEE background, I am from IIT, NITs and all, I know about the objective based examination in my 11th and 12th only. Now when I am solving 15,000 MCQs, let's say governor is a very important theme. I am taking governor because everyone will understand governor example only. So that is because it is easier to understand. Don't you think you will get 10 to 15 questions on governor if you are solving 15,000 MCQs? Pakka you will get. You don't have to solve them all together once. In test number 1, you got a question on governor. In test number 22, you got another question on governor, like that. So now, if you are solving 10 to 15 questions on governor, all the ways a question can be asked from governor, you are covering them. Pakka. Another thing, you are checking your own conceptual understanding. Let's say you have read a concept very beautifully. You have read it from everywhere. You are very strong in that concept. But in the mock test, you got it wrong. Then you will check, you will be able to understand what is your conceptual understanding. How well you have understood that concept when you practice. And thirdly, you will also learn in that if there are any blind spots in your preparation. That is, let's say you have covered everything about governor, but you didn't cover one aspect. The MCQ was from that question aspect only. Then you will see, oh, I forgot to read this part. And you will say that, oh, a question can be framed like this also from this particular theme. So then in the real examination, because you are trying to cover, you are covering almost all the possible questions from a particular theme, you won't get surprised in the real examination. That is, UPSC will always surprise you. But it is your choice to get surprised in the real examination or previously in the mock. I will tell how beautifully this worked in my 2023 attempt. 2022 attempt, go through it. When you go through PYQ analysis, you will see 4 questions where in the format of only 1, only 2, only 3, only 4. 4 questions. Next year, all the mock test, all the full length tests, they were giving 20, 30 questions on only 1, only 2. So, but because I had practiced minimum 50 to 60 mock test, full length test, minimum 50 to 60 full length tests, I was already accustomed to these kinds of questions. So in the real examination, what happened? Page number 1, all the 4 questions were only 1, only 2. Then I was like, oh, this is a bit risky. I will start from the last, 100, 99, 98, like that. I opened the last page. All the 4 questions were only 1, only 2. Then I was like, I started looking. 40 questions were from only 1, only 2. So because I had already practiced those kinds of questions previously in my mock test, during my practice, I was not as surprised as the others were in the examination hall. That is one of the reasons 2023, if you know, it is considered the most brutal year in terms of prelims. Cutoff was 75. So, but I was able to score 95 because of this only. That is, don't get surprised in the real examination. You will like get yourself surprised in the previous marks only. So now also, like for next 2 months, if you are giving prelims, minimum you should be writing 20 mock tests, 20 full length mock tests. Why? The reason is that you will be getting accustomed to the pressure, you will get accustomed to the practice. So you won't get surprised in the real examination all. Like just imagine your prelims as another mock test. Your pressure will get reduced that way. So that is why I suggest this aspect. Let's say April 15th, 22, April 29, May 6, May 13, May 20, May 24. Now let's say you are giving 7 mock tests every Sunday, 7 full length tests in an offline mode. You are going like offline free tests are available everywhere. You are solving question number, like you are solving on 15th April, 22nd April, 29th April. Now it has become a routine to you. So by the time you write prelims 2024, on 24th May you write prelims, it is just another 8th mock rather than the prelims examination. So make it a routine, make it a practice. So this is what I'm telling. And what happens is that now for current affairs also, what I'm going to say is controversial. I didn't read any magazine, any material for current affairs. What I used to do is that, let's say I'm attending 50 to 60 mock tests. Okay, let's take 20 to 30 only. 50 to 60 is too big of a number. 20 to 30 is doable for anyone. 30 mock tests I am doing. Out of these 30 mock tests, what I would do, let's say nanotechnology. This year's example only I will give. Go attend any 5 mock tests. Minimum 3 mock tests will have question on nuclear technology. Right? Nuclear fusion, nuclear. If you have given marks, you will realize that. The reason is that nuclear bill was passed in 2025 November. So most of the mock tests are trying to cover from this area. So now what I am doing is that one thing is current affairs newspaper is important. I am not saying newspapers are not important. Another thing is that, let's say you are attending 30 mock tests. Out of that 30, let's say 15 mock tests are covering nuclear technology. 12 are covering nanotechnology. Then 10 are covering G20. G20, not G20, the COP30. 10 are covering COP30. Now, what is happening is that now, out of thousands of current affairs themes, because of the repetitiveness of the questions, you are able to assign probability for a current affairs based on its ability to get reflected in the real examination. That is, if it is, let's say you saw the question one time, now then the probability will be 1%. You are seeing the same question again and again. Your probability, in your brain, it starts computing the probability. It will become 5%, it will become 10%. Somewhere you will reach 50% for nuclear energy. Your brain, automatically, you don't have to do that. Your brain subconsciously does that. Then for nanotechnology, it will assign the probability of 42%. This happens subconsciously. You don't do that manually. It happens subconsciously. Now, because you are able to assign probability, now you know which 100 current affairs themes to focus upon. So rather than reading 1000 pages material, thousands of current affairs material, now you are limiting yourself to the 100 most important themes. So that is just like I told in prelims, we have to get 60 correct, right? So 60 correct, that means 40, most people will get this 30-40 wrong, right? That is from PYQs, from static aspects and all. These 20, we will get it correct through this 100 current affairs, then through logical elimination, through reasoning. And another thing about elimination also, elimination works only if you have understood it and only if you have practiced it. Just because you have seen a random course on elimination techniques, don't think that you are going to apply it in the real exam. Only if you practiced it, you will know how to apply them. Otherwise, what happens is that in prelims examination, I will tell from my own experience, you will learn some elimination techniques in prelim. You will learn some 10 elimination techniques. Then you will go to prelims. Question number 5. Elimination technique 5 is telling some different answer. Elimination 10 is telling some different answer. So that is what happens. And UPSC is also always 2 steps ahead of us. UPSC will bring some new type of questions, new form of questions that some elimination tricks get obsolete, redundant. So that is why focus on these aspects. But when you practice, what happens is that you are practicing those techniques that you have learned or the knowledge that you have learned. You are implementing. You are forcing your brain to think. So this is also about psychology. That is, there are 2 memories in everyone. One is called as core memory. Another is peripheral memory. So in core memory, our memory will be very strong. In peripheral memory, we will be losing the peripheral memory as the time goes on. So what happens is that core memory, one of the best ways to put something in our core memory is to hurt the ego of the brain. That is, let's say you practice the question. Like, let's say you read something for 2 hours and you thought you understood it. What happens is that it has become a part of your peripheral memory, and after 1 week, if you just go back to the same concept, you feel like it's a new concept. You don't remember anything from that concept. But let's say, rather than reading for 2 hours, you solved some 10 questions on that concept. Out of 10, you got 8 wrong. Your brain will be shocked. The ego of your brain will be hurt. Your brain will start thinking, how did I get this wrong? I have read this concept already. How did I get this wrong? Then your brain will start thinking of the reasons. Why did it go wrong? Then it will become a part of the core memory. And when it becomes a part of the core memory, in the real prelims, let's say you got a concept on the similar question on the similar concept only. Your brain will be able to automatically connect. Oh, I have done this question already wrong. So now you will be able to get it correct. So this is why practice is important. Practice is the best way to make your knowledge into the core memory. And in economics is just like mathematics. These days economics, analytical economics. So there are 2 types of economics. One is theoretical economics, analytical economics. In UPSC Prelims 2025 and all the 14 questions, nearly 12 questions were from analytical economy. So that is your, let's say, Fed rate you are able to connect it to repo rate in India, repo rate to inflation to gold prices to purchasing power parity. So like that, this is analytical economics. So theoretical economics is what? The tertiary sector, secondary sector, like that. So the questions are becoming more and more analytical. Do you think maths can be learned without practice? You can never learn maths without practice. The same way, analytical aspects you can learn only through practice. And if you see, how many of you have read any environment material? Any environment, Shankar, PMF, anything. If you have read them and if you have attended prelims, you know that whatever there in the book is completely different from whatever there in the prelims examination. Why? Because whatever there in the book is theoretical environment, whatever there in the books is analytical environment. So that is why to develop that analytical ability, the only way is through practice. So that is why you don't need to practice 10,000, 15,000 MCQs like I did. But what you have to do is that you are ensuring a minimum number of practice, minimum number of questions, minimum 500 to 600 number of practice for every subject. So that is 600 into 7 subjects will be like around 5,000 MCQs. 4,000, 5,000 MCQs you should be doing. Because if you write 30 full line test only, there itself is 3,000 questions. Another 2,000, 3,000 in 6 months. That means take just 50 to 100 questions per day. 50 to 100 for 180 days. How much it would be? That itself is around 18,000, right? If you solve 50 from Jan 1, I am telling it for next year, till May 24, it will be around 180 days, let's say, 180 days. If you solve even just 50 for 90 days, sorry, 180 days, right? 180 days, 50, it will be 9,000. Don't you think you will be able to solve only 50 questions per day? 50 is very basic number, right? It's not like I am telling you to solve 200, 300 per day. 50 is doable. But what matters is the consistency of showing up every day and practicing it. Consistency is one of the most important aspects of UPSC. See, because what happens is that you know about this exponential graph, right? So this is the inflection point. What happens is that in the initial phases, the results will be very minuscule. You are not able to see your results at all. First 2, 3 months, 4 months, you are not able to see any results. But once you have reached this stage, your knowledge, your wisdom starts skyrocketing. But let's say you took a break of 2 days here. Because of that break, again you are going through this. That is, again, you have to build it for another 2 more months. Again, if you take break, here, your initial minuscule improvement, that is getting repeated here. Means you are not reaching the exponential growth stage at all if you don't have the consistency. That is why I always suggest minimum, if you are preparing full time, give 10 to 12 hours. That is why I take answer writing classes here also. There are I mentor nearly 80 to 100 students. So I ask them, if you are preparing for full time, if your passion and goal is UPSC, if you have nothing to do except UPSC preparation in Chandra layout, why are you not able to give 10 to 12 hours of dedicated efforts every day? Why are you giving 6? Why are you giving 8? Right? Because if you don't understand the competition here, go to Delhi, spend 3 days in Delhi, see the competition. The people who have given interview are giving 15 hours there. Given interview are giving 15 hours there. And you are at the beginning stage of your preparation and giving 8 hours. Means, let's say we are at the current same level of preparation. The person who is giving 12 hours will have 1.5 times more practice than the person who is giving 8 hours, right? Right. So that means if this person takes 2 years, you will take 3 years. The same basic mathematics. If this person takes 2 years to clear prelims as UPSC, you will take 3 years. Because the number of hours. You should be dedicated in those hours also. At the same time, you should be giving these many hours. Because it has become non-negotiable. I will tell why, but it has become non-negotiable that you are giving these many hours. And do you think it is possible to practice 15,000 MCQs without giving 10 to 12 hours? Because for practicing 15,000 MCQs, I have to solve nearly 200, 300 MCQs per day. So, why I am emphasizing this again is that whatever I am telling so far will be possible only if you give those dedicated 10 to 12 hours. Now, syllabus coverage. What you can do is that syllabus coverage is the first 2 parts. That is, you have read the standard books and all. You have read the PT 365, any current affairs material. You have read any one material. Don't take multiple institutes, current affairs, trying to cover everything. Because in the end, all you have to remember is that those 100 teams from current affairs have more probability of being asked than the 1000 current affairs that you will read. So that is, how many of you know what FOMO is? FOMO is fear of missing out. One of the biggest reasons for failure in prelims is FOMO. Oh, what if I don't read this and I get a question from this? I won't be able to solve it in the real exam. But think of the probability of being asked. So rather than doing some random current affairs news, let's say for the same 1 hour, you read CDS PYQs. Or for 1 hour, you practiced polity sectional test. Out of, let's say, you took some current affairs material and you read it for 2 hours. Rather than doing it, practice a polity sectional test for 2 hours, 100 questions. Now in polity, if you are getting 50 correct out of 100 questions, now you know which 50 questions you don't have the conceptual clarity. Means static is the king. Now you are able to identify in which polity areas you are weak. You are weak in polity, economics, geography, environment only, and then you are going for random miscellaneous current affairs. then where is the return on investment? You are understanding what is return on investment, right? How much energy, how much resources, how much time we invest on something, and what is the final output are we getting from that particular investment. That is, I will give one beautiful example for this. I will give empirical example only. So see this graph. This is UPSC last 5 years trend only. So now see here. So how many of you have prepared history? History so far, completed history. So I guess you have completed polity as well. So now economics as well. If you look at the syllabus, the whole history has 2 to 3 times more syllabus than the whole economics as a subject, right? Economics, if it takes 40 hours to complete, history will take 80 to 100 hours because of how vast the syllabus is. But look at the number of questions. Economy, every year they are asking 15. On an average, they are asking 14 to 15 questions. And now see the whole history. For 3 times the more effort, but let's say you have 10 hours. You are spending 5 hours on economics and 5 hours on history. So here, rather than spending 5 hours each, you should be playing according to the strength, and this is for prelims. In mains, history will be asked only for 40 marks in GS1. And in mains, economics will be asked for 100 marks. That is, rather, let's say you have 140 hours. You shouldn't be giving 70 hours each year. That is what we usually do because the syllabus is like that. But we should be giving 40 hours for history because 40 marks are what we getting, and 100 hours for economics because 100 marks is the final output. This is the concept of return on investment. So, and see here, there are stars. What are these stars? Stars, are you able to see the stars? Miscellaneous stars. Miscellaneous stars are the way UPSC is begging you not to focus on these 40 questions. That is current affairs, miscellaneous. See, 24 questions are there. Right. So usually, if you are preparing for prelims, you will realize that you will spend 50% of time on your static, 50% time on your current affairs. But in the end, current affairs, the questions will be 24. That means you should be spending only 25% of your time on current affairs and 75% time on your static. And even if you spend 25% time, there will be 10-15 questions which you will never be able to solve. Whatever you do, you shouldn't be worrying about them at all. Because in the end, your target is to get 60 correct, not to get 100 correct. You are not getting some president's medal for getting 100 correct. Your focus is just to get 60 correct. So that is focusing on this. And let's say my strength is economics here. So this is where the SWOT analysis comes in. So I will give my SWOT analysis. I am very good in economics because it's an analytical subject. So if there are 15 questions in economics, every 3 year, in every attempt I have scored minimum 13 correct out of 15 questions. That means it didn't become strength overnight. I practiced so much economy. There is a book called as Economy 450 by Vivek Singh. You should be referring it. Note it down. Economy 450 for prelims. So I practiced that. I practiced minimum 1000-2000 MCQs for economics only. And it became my strength. And I was able to get 13 right. And my opportunities. What are my opportunities? Where I am able to get 60-70% correct. That is, for me, it was polity. Usually, other strength is polity. My opportunity was polity. My strength was not polity. My opportunity was polity. I was getting, if there are 10 questions in polity, I was getting 6-7 correct. And in mapping, if there are 15 questions, I was able to get 10 correct. These were my opportunities. So your focus in prelims should be to play according to your strengths and opportunities. You should strengthen your strengths so much, and you should convert those opportunity into your strengths so much that whatever the questions from these areas, you are not getting them wrong. Means you don't need to have 100% strike rate. You can have 80% success rate. But 80% itself is also a very good number, right? Then for me, history was my weak spot. Whatever I tried to do in history, I was not able to remember those keywords, remember those timelines and all. So in history, I spent very less time. And out of, if there are 10 questions, let's say if there are 14 questions, I was able to get 3, 4 correct. That too with some basic knowledge. I have covered spectrum, I have read NCERT books. Out of those knowledge, I was able to get 3, 4 correct. But let's say in polity governance, I was getting some 8 correct. Here I'm getting 12, 13 correct. So if you calculate somewhere, like it will come around to 60, according to my strengths and weaknesses only. So rather than trying to allot equal number of time for all the subjects, allot according to its empirical evidence. That is how frequently UPSC is asking questions. What are my own strengths, weaknesses, opportunity, threats? And how do you know your strengths, weakness, opportunity, threats? That is through practice only. Let's say you wrote 30 full length tests. So in polity, in economics, you are able to get 70% correct in all the full length tests and an average. In history, you are able to get 30% correct. That is where you will realize what is your SWOT is. What is your strengths, weaknesses, opportunity, threat is. Then accordingly, you will approach the real examination as well. Don't go into the examination and start doing your SWOT analysis there. That is where we go wrong. Usually that is why what I do is that I don't go by question number 1, 2, 3, 4. First, economics is my strongest area. First I will go to economics questions. Then the next is mapping. I will go to mapping questions because usually economics questions will be clubbed together. Some 5-10 questions will be together like that. So this is for prelims. I hope you understood the practice pillar also. It becomes very important. And what you can do is that go to Google, search for All India Open Mock Tests. UPSC Prelims 2026-27, All India Open Mock Tests. You will get minimum 30-40 full length tests for free there only. You don't have to run behind anything. Like there are some very good reputed full length mock tests. You can attend them. And out of them, like you can do probability analysis, predictive analysis and all. Then you will be like getting some hang of the prelims examination. So usually the practice part is where people miss it. They write one full length test series, they get only 40-50 marks. They are like, I don't know anything. I will do revision of the whole subject again. I will do, read Lakshmikant again. I will read spectrum again. They try to go it like that, go it back to the phase number 1 and 2. That's where they miss it. Rather than giving another mock test. See, if you are getting 40 marks today, your focus should be getting 41 marks tomorrow. Not to expect you to jump from 40 to 100 directly. Give another mock test, you will score 41 from whatever you have learned in the previous mock test. Give 10th mock test, you will score 50 from whatever you have learned in all the previous 9 mock tests, right? So this is how we should be approaching. And revision, there are 2 approaches. The 2 approaches, one approach is the active revision approach. So in revision, there are 2 approaches. Active and passive. So in active and passive, so active revision. What is active revision is simple. You are challenging your brain to think. That's it. You are forcing your brain to think and come to the right answer. I revised only through tests. So let's say I am revising polity. I will take 4 or 5 sectional marks, 500 questions. I am solving them. Then looking at the model solutions. If I am getting them wrong, why did I get it wrong? I have read local self-governance. How did I get it wrong? I have read recently about presidential 14 points. How did I get it wrong? So like when you look at the model solutions and you are doing your revisions, there also revision is happening, right? Revision doesn't mean you have to go back to Lakshmikant. That's what I'm telling. Revision doesn't mean you have to go to your foundational material. You can do revision through your own analysis also. This is called as active revision through tests. And you can do active revision through your notes also. How? While note making, don't copy paste the exact sentences into your notes. That is principle of subsidiarity is devolution of powers upwards from the lowest most levels. Don't write it. Let's say you're writing federalism. Just write principle of subsidiarity while making notes now. Next time you come to your notes for revision, you are reading, let's say, federalism. Under federalism, you have written something called as principle of subsidiarity. Think, what is it about? Try to form the whole sentences in your brain. What is it about? Principle of subsidiarity means devolution of upwards. Think it, don't read it, think it. And let's say you forgot what principle of subsidiarity is. That means you are conceptually didn't understand it. Then again go back to ChatGPT, Google, read what principle of subsidiarity is. Don't write the whole paragraph. Don't Xerox your notes. If you are Xeroxing your notes, what is the necessity of your notes? Right? Lakshmikant, one paragraph he has given, you beautifully are pasting it in your notes. That is called Xerox. That is not called as notes. Notes is something different. And also, don't spend too much time, 6 months out of 1 year on your notes. Because if you have started preparation, you will realize that 1 year, if you spend 1 year, 6 months you will spend on notes only. Don't do that. Because notes, it is necessary for last 3 months. Your conceptual clarity matters the most. If you have understood the concept better, without notes also your brain will be able to connect points, right? I'm not saying notes are not important. But notes, don't think they are like you will make some this much big notes and revise them and clear prelims. That doesn't happen. Then everyone who is in their 5th, 6th attempt should be clearing prelims because they have this much big notes. What you have understood matters a lot. And to check your understanding by challenging your brain. See, like the one takeaway from this session is that force your brain to break the inertia. Inertia of tests, inertia of MCQs, inertia of thinking. Thinking matters a lot. So what happens, like we will make some notes, we start revising it. Oh, I already read this. You will just scroll through pages. After 1 hour, I have revised my notes. That's not the case. Rather than doing it, give one sectional mock test. Whatever mistakes you commit, you will realize that you will raise where you are committing the mistakes, right? That is more fruitful, right? That is what. And passive revision is, see, passive revision is also important. The other aspect is passive revision. That is reading your notes. That becomes important in your static subjects. Let's say you are studying history. In history, you need to remember. You need to remember certain points. There, multiple notes revision help a lot. But in analytical revisions, if you read 10, 100 times also, if you read Vivek Singh, Ramesh Singh, Nitin Singhania even 100 times, you may not be able to cross 7 out of 14 questions in economics. I can assure you that. Because the questions are analytical. What is analytical? Connecting the dots. That happens only through PYQ analysis and practice through tests and all. That is what I am emphasizing upon. So this is the revision aspect. Now we will move on to the mains pillar. So in mains pillar, so mains, this is, as I mentioned, an universal approach. What everyone is doing almost. So the first is PYQs. You have understood the importance of PYQs in prelims only. In mains, you should be doing it for every question. So in mains, let's say, there is something called as 12-4-4 approach, just like 60-30 approach, 60-30-10 approach. Guess what is that for 12-4-4 approach? What is the total sum? 12-4-4, 20. So there will be 20 questions in every GS. So that means your focus should be writing 12 exceptional answers. 4 good answers, 4 average or below average answers. So now think it like that. Your whole mindset about mains changes because see, as I mentioned, this year 15 to 16 questions from GS to GS1, GS3, GS4, they were from PYQ themes only. So that is the UPSC itself is already given you PYQs, has already given you themes. Now it is in your hand to do all the value addition, all the new unique points, new unique keywords for those PYQ based themes. I'm not asking you to do it for all 100 themes. Let's say there are 20 questions and 100 themes in GS2. I'm not asking you to do it for all the 100 themes. If there are 40 PYQ themes, do so good value addition, so good introductions, conclusion, then diagrams, everything for these 12 questions. So that these 12 questions should be something really good, something exceptional, something top 100, top 200 level. Because UPSC is giving them, UPSC is already given you what to read and what to focus upon, these 12 questions. Now next 4 questions, good questions. In good questions, what happens is that they are also usually from PYQs only, but they are a bit more analytical or a bit more conceptual. So you may not be able to write as exceptional answers here. But in below these 4 questions, what happens is that even if you write some, because of time constraints, because of knowledge constraints, because of saturation, exhaustion, because of tiredness, you won't be able, anyone would be writing 4 below good answers. That is average answers, 4. That is go through any topper copies, any full length copies of even Aditya Srivatsa. You will realize that these are very average answers. You will realize there are some 3-4 average answers. In there, usually, UPSC also asks some 1 or 2 bouncers from every subject. 1 or 2 bouncers. What happens? Because UPSC is asking 1 or 2 bouncers, we run behind 1000 page material to try to cover every possible question from that GS. GS2, I have to know everything about US president. He did something, he drank some water, so I will read an article about it. Then president visited Nagaland, I will read another 10 pages about it. But UPSC is giving you some 16 themes. Read about the presidential powers, read about governor, local self-governance, e-governance, then citizen charter, social justice, in health, tribal welfare, women welfare. In GS2 itself, the UPSC itself is giving you those 16 themes. Strengthen them rather than spending too much energy diluting your efforts. Let's say you have 100 hours effort. Rather than trying to cover one theme per every hour, one theme for every hour, put 3 hours on these themes. Are you strengthening your these 12-16 questions, right? You are strengthening your 12 questions. If you are putting this much efforts, spend 3 hours on these questions. Spend less time on the questions with less probability. So rather than chasing these 4 questions, chase these questions, 16 questions. This is where you will marks lies. And if you do this, I can assure you in any paper, any GS paper, you will be able to cross 100. I can assure you that. So this is what the focus should be on. Because if you score 100, your GS score will be around 400. You know, like most of you may know how exceptional 400 is. Scoring 400 in GS. That is very exceptional. So this is what I am trying to emphasize upon. These 16 questions will ensure you are scoring 400. And then, in my case, like how many of you know Jugaad? Do you know what ISRO did? What ISRO did is called as Jugaad. Jugaad is Indian mindset, reverse engineering mindset. That is, India like launched Mangalyaan with $75 million, right? But NASA did it with $1 billion. That is 10-15 times. But how was India able to do it within $85 million? That is through concept of reverse engineering. That is the concept of Jugaad, the engineer's mindset. Apply Jugaad in prelims also. When you apply Jugaad in prelims, because through mocks you are identifying the current affairs themes, the concepts with higher return on investments. In mocks, in PYQs, you are doing that. In year, the Jugaad is topper copies. Because let's say I have been in this process for 4 years. So now you are reading my topper copies, you are a beginner. Do you have to go through all the 4 years of struggle that I have went through? You don't need to, because whatever the struggle I have gone through in my 4 years, I have put it in my answers. Whatever the analysis, whatever the new keywords, new examples, value addition, diagram, everything I have put in my answers. All you have to do is that read my answers, analyze them, take good value additions, make it a part of your notes, practice it, and write it in the exam, right? You don't have to read all the newspapers I have read to collect the examples that I have collected. All you have to do is read my answer copy and directly take the example. So I will tell how it worked for me. So I analyzed topper copies for 6 months. 6 months I have analyzed. I have analyzed minimum 40-50 toppers copies. 50 toppers copies. One topper will have 5-10 copies. That means I have analyzed a lot of copies. One of the most important reason for me to score really well in ethics, that was 125, which is one of the best scores, is topper copies. So what I would do, I will take 10-20 very good copies who have scored 130, 140 and all. From each topper, let's say I'm taking just 5 keywords. 2-3 new keywords. Everyone, like if he is a topper, he has to use some new keyword and new examples, right? I'm just taking 2-3 new keywords and 2-3 good examples. If you analyze 10 copies, that itself is 20-30 keywords, 20-30 good examples. Rather than going through the horrendous task of going through like 1 year newspaper, 1 year magazines and all, what I am doing is that the topper has gone through and I am taking the inputs from him. So this is the importance of topper copy analysis. So during your PYQ phase, PYQ analysis, every day dedicate 1 hour, 2 hours for topper copy analysis. Why? Why? Because of the mindset. Mindset. What is the mindset about? In mains, you require certain level of mindset. That is, there is a very beautiful quote, you are at the average of 5 people with whom you spend your maximum time with. That is, let's say I am spending time with you, time with any 5 of you for 1 year. My personality will become average of your 5 personalities. The same way, if you analyze your topper copies, because you are reading so many topper copies, your mindset will be also reaching the level of toppers, the way they think. Because in my, now whatever I am saying, go to your room and analyze. Go through Aditya Srivatsava's copies. He has written beautiful implicit and explicit demands. He has written something called as PFA format. I told you, point example format. And go through Animesh Pradhan. He has used the example no one has used. Go through Kunal Rastogi. Even if way forward is not asked in the question, he has written a way forward. In every question, he is getting that half marks. Go through Trivikram Singh, all India rank 20. He has written beautiful diagrams for ethics and all. That is why he was able to score 470 in GS. 470 in GS, you are able to score. Beautiful diagrams. Go through Ishita Kishore, go through Shakti Dubey. Yeah, they have written some beautiful diagrams. And go through my copies only. I will put my ethics copies. In every question, I have brought in quote. Ethics question, I have brought in quotes. I start my introductions by quotes only. So, how many of you have read ethics? Ethics. So, you know about the concept of Nishkam Kama. Nishkam Kama is performing our duties without expecting any results. If 14,000 people write means 13,000 will write Nishkam Kama. Because it is in our coaching materials. I wrote something called as Karma Phala Tyaga. Nishkam Kama. Nishkam Kama is not expecting results but performing our duties. Karma Phala Tyaga. Karma is performing duty. Phala is the results. Tyaga is sacrificing those results. Same meaning, Nishkam Kama and Karma Phala Tyaga. Which one does the evaluator like more? Which one do you like more? You like Karma Phala Tyaga more because you haven't read it before. The same way, evaluator will also think the same way, right? For the evaluator, what matters is the uniqueness. If 100 people are writing the same example and you are writing a very different example, he will give you that half marks extra. So that is why, especially if you write in ethics, those who are writing Armstrong Pame, or TN station, like all those have examples become overused. Everyone is writing the same examples. Now your focus is standing out. So what I did research on 20 IAS IPS officers no one is writing. Ilma Afroz, then then there are like so many 4-5 more from Rajasthan 2-3 like that. So I did my research on 20 IAS officers. I made sure that I am writing all those 20 unique examples in my ethics paper. Now when the evaluator is evaluating my ethics copy, my answers, my examples are completely different from what everyone else is writing. So he has to give me that additional marks, right? So this is what should be our thought process. Our thought process should be to get that half marks extra in mains. Because the war is happening for each marks. In prelims, you just have to clear a cutoff. It doesn't matter if you score 180, it doesn't matter if you score 88.7. Doesn't matter if the cutoff is 88. But in mains, your each single marks matter. Because I will give you 2 examples, one personal example. This time I am missing IAS by 1 marks. Means if I had scored 1 more marks, I would have become IAS. One of my friends from Kerala, he asked 936. If the cutoff is 936, he asked 936, he is not in the list. Because, let's say, OBC has 100 positions. The 100th position is also 936. The 101st is also 936. Because of age, there is a rule. The person with higher age will be in the list. Because of that age, that person got through and this person is not in the list. Means he has scored the same marks as the cutoff and is not in the list. That is now the competition. Just go to UPSC 2025 results, marks list. You will see in 1 marks there are 30 candidates. The war is happening for that 1 marks. So, and if you are, let's say you are scoring 4, which is a very good marks out of 10 in mains, and your competitor is scoring 4.5, you are out of the list. You are out of the race. Because let's say for 1 question it is the marks gap is off. Take it for 20 questions. Oh, what is the difference? 10 marks. Take it for 7 papers. What is the difference? 70 marks. So that is the difference between 660 and 770. Right? That is the difference between 700 and 770. That is the difference between 770 and 840. Right? So the war is for that half marks. We don't realize that. We usually don't realize that. That is why I suggest prelims, sometimes what happens is that prelims is not a level playing field. Prelims, engineers with analytical abilities, the jugad, smart working people have better success rate. And people with stronger CSAT, they have better success rate. But in mains, everybody has level playing field. Mains, I will assure you, a person who has put 15 hours of effort, let's say 1 take 1 day, and person who has put 14 hours of effort, if they are putting effort in the right direction, if you have the right guidance and all, let's say every other aspect are same. 14 hours of effort, if they score 700, this guy will score 701. I can assure you that. See, take any example from Karnataka. Most of them are from humble background. They are not from rich, elite, ICSE schools and all. They are from a very humble background. Kannada medium students are also there. But why they are scoring 780, 800, 820? Right? The reason is efforts. Prelims to mains gap, you should be fighting it as if your life is dependent on it. Because Kiran Anna only, like if you have listened to Kiran Kamate, all rank 53, if you listen to his speech only, he told that he slept only for 4 hours and gave nearly 16 hours of effort between that prelims and mains gap. And that is why he was able to get all India rank 53. The efforts matter the most in your mains. The one stage of the exam where your background, nothing matters is your mains. How much you improve, your scores will be reflected through your efforts. So that is why even during this PYQ analysis phase also, try to put as much efforts as possible for your mains. You should be doing that for all the stages. But for mains, the competition is very brutal. Prelims, you may not study for 2 months and you may still qualify if you have done 4 months of effort. But in mains, what happens is that, let's say you have done 4-month effort and you didn't do for 2 months. You are lost 1/3 of the marks you could have gotten. Right? Basic maths. Like that. And another thing, the topper copies, I have explained their importance also. Now peer discussions. Find a right peer group, because when you discuss, let's say, as I told, I have put in 3 years of efforts, you have put in 3 years of efforts. So when we discuss, we are sharing. Rather than me going through all the materials he has read, when we discuss, we are gaining some new perspectives, new dimensions. So that is, essay is all about dimensions. Ethics is all about your points, examples. So let's say I have 10 examples, you have 10 examples. If we discuss for half an hour, we are exchanging each other's 10 points, 10 examples. So rather than me having to study another 10 hours for collecting those 10 examples, when we discuss, our success rate improves. That is why Kerala has one of the highest success rate in UPSC. That is, Kerala with 3.5 crore population got 50 selection. Karnataka with 7 crore population got 22 selection. Because there is no peer ecosystem here. There is no peer ecosystem. But in Kerala, like if you see mains interview, they prepare so together. I have been a part of Kerala ecosystem. That's why I am telling. And if you go to Delhi also, don't go to Kerala and all. Karnataka ranked number 1 this year. Karnataka ranked number 1 is Kiranana. Rank number 1 is Sandipana. Mains, all the 3 toppers were from the same study group. 5 people went to Delhi. They stayed in the same room. 4 people cleared the exam. 3 people are the Karnataka mains toppers. Those who have scored 800 from Karnataka, 800 plus, all are from same peer group. Every day they used to discuss for 3-4 hours. That is the importance of peer discussions. So find the right peer group around you. The peer groups also can affect you in the negative way also. That is why, like what happens, now I will tell something, everyone will be able to relate. Morning 9 o'clock you will come to library after your breakfast and all. Then 11 o'clock, ba macha, let's go for a tea. 1 hour you will spend on tea. 12 o'clock you come back to library, study for 1 hour. 1 o'clock you will go for lunch. 2 o'clock you will come back. Till 4 you will study. 4 o'clock, ba macha, let's have another tea. 4 to 5, your another round of tea, another round of discussion, another round of UPSC predictions, another round of KPSC, Angamas will happen, discussion. Again 6 to 8 you will study. 9, you will be like, oh, I have studied so much today. I will watch some reels for 2 hours. 11 o'clock, oh, I am done for the day, I will sleep. 11, 12. Same routine, right? and think there are people who are putting 15 hours. And you are competing with them. Your peer group matters a lot in here as well. Like, let's say a person sitting next to you is studying for 12 hours. Don't you feel the guilt that, oh, this guy is putting 12 hours, I should also be putting 13 hours. Don't you get that motivation? And your person who is sitting next to you is chilling. You will also chill. That's what happened. That's why the peer group matters a lot. Find the right peer group, they will make you succeed, irrespective of your level of preparation. Even if you are an absolute beginner, they will make you succeed. I will tell an example from my own experience. In the first interview I gave, I was very immature. I didn't know how to think answers also. I was telling all the answers from emotions. I didn't have the confidence for current affairs, international relations questions. How to approach them, I didn't know. Then I met Krishna Anna. Krishnappa Donavani, you may know. So I met Krishna Anna. He used to discuss with me for 1.5 hours every day. Because I spent so much time with him, he is a very wise, he is one of the most intellectual people I have met in life. Because I spent so much time with him, I started slowly picking up the thought process, the way he thinks. His international relations answers used to be so good. His answers used to be so mature that I used to get wondered, wow, such a beautiful answers. This is the importance of a right peer group. The same way, if you do for mains, if you do for prelims, if you take 4 years, it will get reduced to 3 years. There is a quote now, if you want to go fast, go alone. Go fast, go alone. But if you go fast and if you don't have a direction, you will crash. If you want to go far, go together. If you want to go far, means you have to go far in the exam, right? Prelims, mains, interview, you have to go far. Go together. That will surely help. So that is why peer discussions help a lot. And ChatGPT AI. I know most of you haven't used AI so far. Even if you have used AI, you have used for very basic purposes. But I have used AI in such a way that, see, like my screen time every day for AI will be around 5-6 hours for ChatGPT. I have purchased ChatGPT Plus. So now I will give you one scenario. Most of you may not be aware. Pre-AI and post-AI. Pre-AI for a particular topic, if you have to collect examples, it will take minimum 2-3 hours of effort. Now go to ChatGPT. Right now, if you have ChatGPT, go to ChatGPT. In ChatGPT, below there is a plus option. There is a web search option. Go there and ask ChatGPT, give me 10 contemporary examples on governor in last 2-3 years from 2024 to 26. What we used to take 2 hours, now you can do it within 5-10 minutes. That is, if there is a beautiful quote from Steve Jobs also. That is, AI will not replace humans. The people who use AI will replace the people who don't use AI. That is, in UPSC, everyone is using AI, especially people from engineering IIT backgrounds. Go to Akankshdul video. Akankshdul is all India rank 3 this time. Go to his video. He has talked about the importance of AI, using AI. Because engineers, they are built in for AI. They will use some AI some or the other way. And they are reducing their efforts by 80%. And you are still doing that 2-hour, 3-hour research. Who is more productive? Who is more having better return on investment? Those are using AI. And for optional, how did I improve my optional? 190 as code, I improved it to 270. How? What I used to do is that optional, in every GS you have to write 150 word answer for 10 marker. What I used to do, I used to go to AI, ask AI, give me 3000 word analysis for this question. Do it for any optional. You will see very beautiful analysis. It will give you that background of that question. It will explain every keyword in that question. It will beautifully explain you the demand of that particular question. It will give you all the 10 points. It will give you examples, thinkers. It will give you the antithesis for that question. It will give you way forward, conclusion. If you ask for 3000 words. Then out of those points, pick some points that you find that you can add in your answers. Make your notes like that. Your notes will be stand out. Let's say there is one coaching. Let's say everyone is referring the same materials for one optional. Now you are doing AI and you are writing some unique keywords, unique analysis, unique examples. You will get marks, right? You will stand out, right? So this is the use of AI. AI, especially for mains, it's non-negotiable. It has become non-negotiable. So please use AI. So start learning. It is not you are not 100 years old to tell that, oh, I am not accustomed to AI. I can't use AI. You're just 27 year old. You should be learning. You should be adaptable. Adaptability is another skill that is required in civil services, right? You should be adaptable. You should be adapting according how times are changing, how technology is changing. And the same way, people say that, sir, I don't know how to make digital notes. Go to Google Docs in your mobile. Use Google Docs for 1 hour. Only 1 hour. More than WhatsApp, Google Docs has only 5-6 features. WhatsApp has 100 features. Bold, italic, then group, discussion, forum, something like that. WhatsApp has hundreds of features. Google Docs has 6 features. Go to Google Docs. For polity, create a notes, create a docs. In polity, based on the PYQ themes, governor theme. Let's say you studied governor question from 2025. Whatever the points you found useful, put those 10 points. Next, you are solving 2022 PYQ. There you picked 3 points for governor. Add it. Digital notes are easy to update. Digital notes are easy to add value. Because you are not adding value only from your PYQs. Let's say you found a very good answer on governor from a topper. Immediately add it to your digital notes. Do you think you can do it for offline notes? You can't do. But this you can do. Then ChatGPT, you got some points from ChatGPT, add it to your digital notes. Then answer writing practice, you wrote an answer. You wrote an answer for governor, let's say. Immediately add it to your notes. Now, when you revise, you are revising the whole governor theme from whatever you have studied so far. You are not revising your PYQ notes, then you are not revising your test notes, not like that. Then you are not revising your ChatGPT notes. You are revising the whole governor theme all at once. Then you will have better connections, right? You will be able to form better connections, better analysis. That is why you try to start using digital notes. Especially Google Docs is one of the most simplest apps. And if you don't know how to use it, go to YouTube. Why are you depending on me to tell how to use it? Go to YouTube, search how to use Google Docs in mobile. You will get some YouTube videos. Watch it for half an hour. I can assure you, whatever the amount of time you spend on offline notes, you will nearly save 70 to 80% time on digital notes if you are revising them properly. I can assure you that. And in the prelims mains gap, make 1-pager, 2-pager notes for every theme, offline notes. So did you understand? So digital notes are non-negotiable. People don't say this. Usually toppers don't say this. But most of them, if you look, they have made digital notes. Like I have posted my digital notes, ethics essay, on my Telegram group, go through it. Every PYQ theme I have made notes. Ethics, essay. For all the subjects I have done. Like society, history one notes, then geography one notes, like that. You should be doing the same. Because if you start doing notes, they will itself will take some 10-15 books. Can't revise them. And digital notes, what I do, like there is something called, I use AI very beautifully. What I will do, in ChatGPT Plus, there is some option called as upload option. So what happens is that, let's say, so let's say I have made my notes so far, digital notes. So I will go to ChatGPT, I will upload my ethics notes. So based on my ethics notes, I will now I will post some question to ChatGPT. ChatGPT, when it gives an answer, it will give 5 unique points, 5 points from my notes, right? Out of these 5 points, now let's say I have collected an example, I don't know where to apply it. Because you have already uploaded your notes, ChatGPT will start connecting the points and examples. Then you will be like, oh, I can write this example in this question also. You will start thinking like that. Then, based on AI analysis, you are updating your digital notes. And based on your notes, again you are updating your AI. So the feedback loop, so you know ripple effect, right? If you throw a stone in the water, the first will be a small circle. The circle will get bigger. This is the feedback loop. This is what this is. Your analysis is getting better. Your notes are getting more and more stronger, unique. Your value addition is improving. Then, because you are having very good value addition. See, how do I evaluate my answers? Is that I don't like go for this standard evaluation and all. I will upload my answers to ChatGPT. I won't ask for marks. Marks won't matter at all. Even in tests, even in mains, it won't matter at all. I will upload my answers. I will ask ChatGPT, whatever the example I have missed, whatever the dimensions I have missed, give me every dimension. So you have 5 dimensions in your mind. ChatGPT will Forget all the dimensions you have written, try to give every new 5 dimensions. Out of those new 5 dimensions, you were able to pick up 2 dimensions, let's say. Now you have 7 dimensions. Right? This is how we should be developing our thought process, improving our value addition. So this is the importance of using AI. Model solution test series, you know the importance for practice, rigorous practice and all. Brainstorming the Benjo P. Jose way. Benjo P. Jose, in his 4 years of preparation, he has written 20 answers. And for some GS, he hasn't written any answer at all. And for ethics, I have written total 20 answers. I have written some, fine, like I shouldn't take my example, but I will give you what Benjo P. Jose did. What Benjo P. Jose did is, this is more difficult than answer writing. Because what you have to do is that, let's say you are writing an answer. You are already repeating the point that you know in your answers. That means if you are, let's say, you have read very standard books, you don't know, you don't have any unique examples also. Let's say you have read any ethics book, and from that ethics book you have 5 examples. Even if you write answer hundreds of times, you will be writing the same examples, right? Because you don't have any other examples. So now Benjo P. Jose, what he did, there is a video, YouTube video, you can go, Benjo P. Jose brainstorming video, you will get. What he did is that, rather than writing answer for 7 minutes, he will think as much as possible for 5 minutes, let's say, 3 to 5 minutes. Rather than, like, let's say, you have 20 points, but you have to write only 10 points in your answer. Other 10 points, you are not practicing them. But what you would do is that you would just scribble down all the 20 points that you could think of from that particular concept, particular question. After that, you will immediately go to model solutions. You will immediately go to ChatGPT. You will immediately look which examples can I add, which dimensions did I miss, which from ChatGPT you will pick good examples, keywords, thinkers. So that means immediately, as soon as he is writing a question, he is not only expressing what he already knows, he is also learning from model solutions test series immediately. Because you are doing that immediately, you are able to connect things better. So did you understand the brainstorming? That is, I am not saying answer writing is not important. Answer writing, but without having the content. Content is the king in mains. Without having the content, if you write 1000 answers also, your answers will be substandard only. That is why improving through content matters. Brainstorming is very difficult. I am telling you, just sit down, try to think on agricultural for 3 minutes. Think 10 points, 10 challenges in agriculture and 5 examples in agriculture for 3 minutes. You will realize how difficult it is. It is a very time consuming, energy consuming process. It will drain out your energy, brainstorming, because you are forcing your brain to think, right? It will consume your energy a lot. So that is why, but if you do it, you got all in rank 59. I'm not saying this as a substitute to your answer rating, but this will complement your answer rating really well. If it will improve your thought process a lot. It will improve your mains thought process. So this is the approach. And answer writing and practice, non-negotiable every day. And the biggest mistake people do in mains preparation is the difference between writing and answer writing. They read polity, they take some PYQ, they will try to write an answer. They will write some horrible answer. Everyone, not you, everyone will write some horrible answer. Oh, I don't know anything. They will come back to Lakshmikant again. And again they will try to write some answer. Again, see, in Lakshmikant, let's say you have 5 points, 10 points for governor. Because you haven't gone to the stage 3 and 4, where you will be getting more and more points through topper copies, through peer discussions, ChatGPT, model solutions. You don't have these many points. Because if you do and this and all, if you do Lakshmikant, you will have 10 points. If you do, you will have 20 points. In mains, you have to write 10 points. So now you have the luxury of choosing 10 points from the 20 points. Right? But if you read Lakshmikant, you will have 10 points. You are trying to remember all those 10 points, which is humanly not possible for hundreds of themes. So you will get demotivated. You won't write answers only. Oh, I have further revision to do, further reading to do, like that. You will be stuck in stage 1 and 2 only. Now, let's say you have completed, let's say today you completed governor. Sit for 5-10 minutes. Whatever you have learned in class or whatever you have studied, try to sit for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Force your brain to remember whatever you have learned from that governor. Write it down for 5-10 minutes. It doesn't have to be an answer. It has to be your writing. Write for 5-10 minutes. Right? Practice. Then, after completing stage 1 and 2, the stage 3 and 4 are mains preparation and prelims preparation. During that time, you can start your answer writing. Because now, one thing, your revision is happening when you immediately, as soon as your class is done, if you are practicing, you are writing something. You need not write answers. You are writing something. That is the difference between writing and answer writing. For the first 2 stages, do writing. In the next 3, the mains preparation stage, do answer writing. During that time, take the guidance of your mentors, the teachers, take the guidance of, and then you will be, oh, I can reduce my answers from 5 lines to 3 lines. Then I can integrate this example. I can write introductions like this. I can introduce diagrams like this. Then you will start doing value addition. Don't expect it from day 1. From day 1, what you should be doing is writing. But from day 1 of your PYQ analysis, what you should be doing is 1 or 2 answer writing. So that's the difference. And how do we develop answer writing? Through topper copies. They are the best sources for your answer writing. Because topper copies, you will start looking, oh, he has written introductions like this. You will try to inculcate in your answers also. Then guidance and mentorship. Guidance and mentorship will give you the right direction. For example, like Krupal sir only. Krupal sir has been my optional ethics GS2 mentor. He has given 3 interviews and he has written 6 mains. So I guess in Bengaluru, it is one of the highest. So that is, he has vast amount of knowledge, vast amount of points, example, analysis. When you talk to them, he will be like, he can, like any mentor will be able to guide. You are writing 4 points, then writing, 4 lines rather than writing 3 lines. You are not writing the antithesis. You can also write way forward. You have written this conclusion. You can write a better conclusion like that. That is where mentorship and guidance helps. I took mentorship and guidance for my first 2 attempts from toppers. The topper copies, not the toppers. I will write an answer on governor. I will see what my answer is. I will immediately look at the topper copy. And topper, whatever he has written, extra keywords, extra dimensions, I will try to inculcate in my next answers. That is used to be my approach. Feedback loop approach. Mains is purely about feedback loops. Purely about feedback loops. Through peer discussions, you will improve. Then, let's say you read something in ChatGPT. You shared it with your peers. Your peers shared something with you. Then you wrote it in answer. Then you are practicing PYQs. It will act like a feedback loop. The feedback loop, the more you feed it, the bigger it grows. That is like this. The feedback loop will be like the exponential curve. So usually what happens is that in our preparation, we do stage 1 and 2. Stage 1 and 2, we will have beautiful growth because we are reading everything for the first time. Polity, economics, we are reading everything for the first time. We will have beautiful growth because we are gaining new knowledge. But after that, our preparation will become stagnant like this. Why? Because rather than moving on to stage 3, 4, doing through feedback loop, now see, like stage 1 and 2 will be same for everyone. It is your choice whether to go like this exponentially or go like this. Usually the people who are stuck in stage 1 and 2 will be having curve like this. The stage who move on to 3, 4 will have curve like that. Everything is mathematical. And see, understand one thing. Whatever I have said so far, I have tried to give some mathematical reasoning, give some empirical evidence. I have given you the POQ table and all, right? Why? I didn't develop this quality all of a sudden. UPSC made me think like that. Now, whatever I think, I know that if I make a comment, because see, I am a civil servant. If I am an IPS officer, I can't go to a crowd and speak emotionally. Right? I have to speak out of pure logic, pure evidence, pure laws. Right? The same way, if you are a civil servant, you can't write answers in a generic manner. You have to substantiate your arguments. In prelims also, in mains also, in interview also. You have to say what you are saying, why you are saying that. You have to give that reasoning. Otherwise, like let's say, if this YouTube video goes on YouTube, now like some people will be like, Manoj just 60, 30, 10 won't work. Then I have given you the reasoning why it will work, right? I have given you the reasoning that 40 questions, UPSC is begging you to leave, begging you to get them wrong. I have given you the reasoning. Now I am asking you to approach it in the practice and find out yourself. So this is what. Now consciously, unconsciously, subconsciously, I am thinking in terms of data, evidence, in terms of models, mathematical models. I am thinking of them. So this is how we should develop our thought process also. Don't think your UPSC exam as some board exam where you are ratta-marring content and vomiting in the real exam. It won't happen at all. Ask any seniors who has written a mains. In mains, if you have written a mains, you will know. Go to your peer group, ask anyone who has written a mains. In mains, your brain will get blocked. You like, whatever you have read, whatever you have practiced, whatever thing you have analyzed, you will be able to remember them. Whatever thing that you try to remember so hard, you won't be able to remember them. See, like I will give you from my experience only. As I told, the competition is happening for half marks, right? So let's say for a 15 marker, you are getting 7 marks. So that means for 15 marks, you will have 10 minutes, right? So let's say I spent 1 minute on drinking water. So now rather than having 10 minutes to write, I have 9 minutes. So now in 9 minutes, I will lose 1 mark. Right? Obviously, maths, basic maths. So that means rather than getting 7, I am getting 6. Rather than getting 107 in the paper, I am getting 106. And because of that, I am missing 20 ranks, 30 ranks. Right? Now did you understand the game? 1 minute matters in mains. And I can assure you, your brain, if you have written mains, you will understand. Your brain, it will think now because we are relaxed, we are chill, we will be like, oh, main likh lunga. In your mains, your brain, your hand is writing. That's it. Your brain won't be functioning at all. You can think, I will collect 10 examples for governor. I will replicate all 10 in the exam. If you haven't understood those examples, if you are blindly trying to copy 10 examples and vomit them in the real exam, it won't happen. I can assure you that. Ask anyone who has written the mains, they will tell the same thing. Mains is not a game of vomiting. You can't expect yourself to read 17 coaching material for 17 subjects. Go there and write mains. Mains, they will also evolve. UPSC will also evolve. Your competitor will also evolve. Right? So that is why. So this is about mains preparation. So now, yeah, fine. Like I will have like next 10-20 minutes. We will complete the session. So prelims, mains I have completed. Interview, if you qualify interview, I will try to take a session for that as well. Because right now you don't need to worry about interview. I guess I have completed, covered PY prelims thoroughly, mains thoroughly. And see, like, this is easily one of my favorite quotes. Like, I have some 10 favorite quotes. One among them is this. That is, there are 3 ways to learn, gain wisdom. One is through self-introspection. What is self-introspection? I told you, right? Brainstorming, forcing your brain to think. Self-introspection is analyzing, spending time with ourselves. I write a mock test today. Then I forgot one aspect. I will cover it in the end. Mock test analysis. Mock test analysis and PYQ analysis. I will cover that as well. Now I will cover this aspect. So now you are spending a mock test. Where am I going wrong? Which concepts I am not having clarity? You are asking yourself. You are understanding that. You are understanding that you don't have to go from 30 to 100 within 1 week. You will go from 30 to 31, 32. You are spending time with yourself. You are having that confidence. You are gaining that confidence. You are making mistakes and learning from them. That is called as self-introspection. Reflection. Reflection is what? Self-introspection. Then the other way is through imitation and inspiration. That means topper copies, learning from the mistakes of others rather than committing the same mistake. So that is the inspirational aspect. This is another way of gaining wisdom. This is the easiest because you are not committing the mistake. You are not getting grinded by UPSC. We have already gotten grinded. Now you are not committing our mistakes. You are learning from our mistakes and you are improving on it. That is the inspirational aspect. Imitation, inspiration, whatever. That is the easiest. Introspection is the noblest. Noblest because it requires the maximum effort. Sit down for 5 minutes, try to think on agriculture. You will get drained out of energy. Because thinking is the hardest game. In you, anywhere, thinking is the hardest game. That is why people have opinions. Right? There is a difference between arguments and opinions. Opinions anyone can have because there you don't need to back it up with anything. My opinion. But arguments, you have to have back evidences. So that is why thinking is the hardest game. You don't need to think to make an opinion, but you need to think to make an argument. So that is why it is the noblest. Noblest. The imitation is the easiest because you are not committing the mistake. And the third one is the experience is the bitterest. As I told, mistakes you will commit in the UPSC exam. It is your choice to commit it in the exam. If you choose to commit those mistakes in the examination, you will fail and you will get some very bitter experience. And that is why it is the bitterest. This is what UPSC is about. And mock test analysis I will cover for prelims. For prelims, mains mock test analysis I have told. I will brainstorm, I will write an answer, immediately I will look at the model solution, AI. For prelims, what you should be doing is that, let's say you wrote for PYQ as well as mock test. I am taking a mock test. You wrote 100 questions. Out of 100, you know 30 are not UPSC standard questions only. Right? You will be having questions like that. How to identify those 30 not UPSC level questions? Through your PYQ analysis. Whatever the themes that UPSC has analyzed, asked, they are the 70 questions. Whatever the banking level, SSB level, there are SSC level questions are different from UPSC prelims level questions, right? Whatever those questions are, they come under 30. So you will be able to, you shouldn't worry about these 30 questions at all. Just look at their model solutions and move on, that's it. Now out of these 70 questions, let's say you attended 50, you got 40, 30 correct and 20 wrong. And you left 20 unattempted, UA. And these 50 you attempted, these 30 correct, wrong, 20 wrong. Let's say these 50 questions, now ask, if these 20 questions, why did you leave them unattempted? Ask. Is it knowledge gap? Is it your conceptual clarity gap? Like that, ask. Now, in the 50 questions you attempted, you got 30 wrong. Let's say there are multiple ways. One is, first, when you are solving any test, question number 1 you are solving, put K in front of it if you have solved it through knowledge. Let's say question number 2. You solved it through, you had a doubt between two options. So put 50-50 in front of it. You are question number 3. You knew it. You should have solved it through knowledge. But you forgot. You left unattempted. KUA. Question number 4. You solved it through logical elimination. You didn't have knowledge, but you solved it through elimination. There was an extreme statement. There was an improbable statement like that. You solved it through logical elimination. Question number 5. You had option between, you had doubt between 3 options. The probability is 25-75, right? When you have doubt between 3 options. Write it like that. Question number 6. You attended it as a tukka. What is tukka? Blind guess. What in it? Put T. Now at the end of the examination, K, let's say you attended knowledge by 20 questions. You got 15 correct. Analyze these questions also, but the 5 questions which you should have gotten through knowledge, but didn't get them right. Analyze them properly. Because you have forgotten them, you have not revised them, you have not conceptually understood them. Then 50-50 questions. When you do it for 20-30 tests, you will be, sample space will be bigger. Understand what is your accuracy. For 25-75, understand your accuracy. For tukka, your accuracy will be like 20%, that's it. Then for logical elimination, what is your accuracy? Then for knowledge unattempted, this you should be thoroughly doing research. That is, go back to Google, go back to ChatGPT, go back to Lakshmikant. Now you are going back to stage 1 in these questions because you have not understood them in stage 1. But let's say you got knowledge, you out of 20, you got 15 right. You don't need to go back Lakshmikant for this, right? You will look at the model solution, whatever the new points are there, you will just post it in your digital notes. So did you understand how to analyze a mock, how to analyze a PYQ? This is how we should analyze our PYQ. Now, if you think it like that, you won't care about your marks only. Because see, first of all, you are not checking your marks for 200 marks. You are checking your marks for 70 marks. 140 marks. Because 70 questions. Now, if you're, there is a difference, right? Scoring 60 for 200 is different from scoring 60 for 140, right? We think that we are scoring only 50-16 marks. Oh, I am not prepared. You are not prepared for these 30 questions. UPSC will never ask. Why do you have to be prepared for these questions? That is my question. Analyze these 70 properly. This is what analysis is about. I can assure you do this for 20-30 tests. Your logical elimination 50-50, 25-75, your accuracy will, if your initial accuracy was let's say 30%, it will improve to 37%. These are marginal improvements, but one question, maybe because of 30%, 37% accuracy, 50-50 your accuracy was like, let's say 55%, it will improve to 75%. I can assure you that. Mathematically, like think, I don't need to say anything. Just think, if you do this, you will only analyze, understand. So this is what analysis is about. So this is how we should analyze mocks. This is the concept of self-introspection, reflection. You are asking yourself, why did I, like this I should have gotten it through knowledge, why didn't I? How can I improve on environment? Now do it for subject wise also. Economy, let's say 14 questions, you are getting 10 correct. When you do it like that, then you will be, now next focus should be to improve 11 correct. There you will understand, economics is my strong area only because I have solved 50 tests and understood that it is my strong area. Just because you say it to yourself, it is not your strong area. You have to have a mathematical reason for it. Everything is mathematics. Everything is mathematics. You should have a mathematical reasoning. If I say economics is my strong area, I have to give you a proof that economics is a strong area. Solve 50 test series, show that out of 14 you are able to get 10, 11 correct. Then it is your strong area. Like that. That is how we analyze tests. The growth mindset, I will explain the growth mindset in the conclusion. Yeah. These are like, I will try to cover one or the other way. This is the concept of return on investment. Just a minute. And this is my approach. Do so much work, it would be unreasonable that you fail. 100 toppers will have 100 strategies for prelims. The one strategy that I can assure you will surely give success is practice. PYQs plus practice. Because you are putting so much effort that it becomes unreasonable that you fail. There is no chance for you to fail like that. So this is the, for mains also I did the same thing. It was helpful. In interview, you cannot imagine, I used to do speaking practice for 8 hours a day for 2-3 months. 8 hours speaking practice, just imagine that. 2 hours I used to take classes, you don't know, like I guess you don't know, most of you. I used to take answer writing classes here. Then 2 hours I used to discuss with Krishna Anna. Then I had another peer group, the All India peer group. I used to discuss them with 1 hour. Then I used to attend 2 one-on-one sessions, 1 mock. So 130 one-on-one sessions and mocks I have attended, 130. 130, you will realize when you start giving interviews how humongous, how big that number is. I used to give it like, so I didn't want to fail again. I have failed in interview once, I didn't want to do it again. So I put so much effort that it would be unreasonable that I would be failing. So this would be your approach. That you are putting so much effort. If you are putting 12 to 15 hours of dedicated effort for, let's say for mains only for 6 to 9 months, I can assure you will score above 750. For 6 to 9 months, if you put dedicated hours, 12 to 15 hours, I will assure you will score 750. Like that. So, psychology, I have explained almost all these concepts. This is 622, 631, all those concepts. That is, if you are giving 10 hours, 10 hours is the minimum you should be giving. 6 hours for practice, conceptual understanding. 3 hours for CSAT and all, 1 hour for revision. This is prelims breakup. You don't need it right now. This is what is sweat. This is my concept. That is like, this is what I use. Sweat more in practice to bleed less in war. That is, don't go to prelims and bleed there. Say, commit the same mistakes in your practice. That is, the more you sweat in practice, the more you will become master of it, and the less mistakes you will commit it in the real exams. And there is another very beautiful quote, that is, in your toughest times, please understand this, in your toughest times, you won't rise to the level of your expectations. You will fall to the level of your practice. That means, let's say Kohli, in his toughest matches, he doesn't become hero overnight. He wants to score a century, he won't score a century easily. He will fall to the level of practice. The practice that he has done for 15-20 years. That is, in your toughest times, you won't rise to the level of your expectations. You will fall to the level of your practice. So the standard, you don't get what you wish for, you will get what you work for. That is wish, work. You don't get what you wish for. You will get what you work for. So this is the difference. So now, like, I will just summarize this. Now, especially for those who are giving prelims, no new sources. I have explained why. Even if you read 1000 materials, it won't be help. No zero MCQ day, because practice is more important. MCQs you should be practicing now, minimum 100 every day. Next, no mocks without analysis. That also I have explained. Introspection, self-analysis. No current affairs overload. Rather than don't chase thousands of materials. That is what I told. Foundational materials are foundational materials only. Another question is that, sir, economy, should I read Vivek Singh, Ramesh Singh, Nitin Singhania? It doesn't matter. Everything is foundational material only. What you do after that book matters. Because, see, if everyone is reading Lakshmikant, if 1 lakh people give prelims with prelims, 1 lakh people will read Lakshmikant, right? If everyone is reading Lakshmikant, why not everyone is scoring 14 out of 14. Right? That is, there is something beyond Lakshmikant that we should be putting PYQ and practice. And no complete neglect of CSAT, because this is another aspect. See, like what happens is that we are so scared of thinking, so scared of practice. What we do is that we outsource our thinking to others. CSAT, I will tell what will happen. I will tell another reality check. CSAT, what you will do, not what you will do, what everyone does is that, let's say we are weak in CSAT, we will buy some course, we watch some videos, 2022 CSAT, 25 CSAT, model solutions, 8-hour long marathon video CSAT we will watch. We think we have understood it. Maths you can never understand without practice. What to do for CSAT? Sit, question number 1, try to solve it for 3-4 minutes. You don't need formulas. Just try to solve, try to think whatever way it is possible to think. You won't get the solution, it's fine. Then look at the model solution. Then see, oh, like this is where I went wrong. Then do it for question number 2, question number 3, question number 4. That way you will be able to improve. See, in CSAT, in the end, 53, 27. Out of 80 questions, 53 will be from maths and reasoning, 27 will be from the comprehension. Comprehension usually, on an average, 18, everyone will get 18 correct, right? But here, so to clear CSAT, you need almost 35 correct. If you get 35 correct, it is 87.5. If you get 15 wrong, like that is around 12 marks less. So you will get 75 marks, which is very good for CSAT. Now, that means you have to get 35 right. You have to get 17 correct in out of 53 questions in maths and reasoning. Don't you think in any exam there will be 20-25 easy questions, 20 easy questions, 20 difficult questions, 15, 20 medium questions, 20 difficult questions. In CSAT, the biggest mistake people do is not prioritization. Attend question number 1 for 5 minutes, I will attend. I won't get the solution. Then I will go to second question. I will attend for 5 minutes, I will get the solution. This is how we approach. Now, let's say you have analyzed like this. Question number 1, you have taken, analyzed. Numerical ability. Oh, I am able to understand the model solutions. The next time there is a question in PYQ, in CSAT, you will be like, you will be able to, oh, I have already solved this. This I can solve. And let's come to the real exam. In the real exam, you are solving a question. This distance questions I can solve because I have solved it in the PYQs. This probability question I can't solve because even if I spend 10 minutes, I couldn't solve in the practice. Now you know which question to select. Rather than going 1, 2, 3, 4, now 1 I can solve, 4 I can solve. Then 22 I can solve. 5, 6, 7, 8 line, skip in the first round. Focus on your strengths. Your strengths are numerical ability, number system, LCM, HCF, then like that. If they are your strength, play according to your strengths. Let's say what happens is that out of last 30 questions, there will be some 10 easy questions. You should be giving 3 minutes for those easy questions. You will get solution. But because you have already spent so much time on the hard questions, which IIT people will also be not able to solve, you have only 1 minute for that easy question. You try to solve it, you won't get the solution. You are losing out the marks on hard questions also, you are losing out on the marks on easy questions also. This is why people fail in CSAT. CSAT, I can assure you, go to 2025 question, 25, 24, except 23, go to 25, 24, 22, you will find that there are minimum 20 to 25 easy questions in maths and reasoning. Easy questions, 10th, 12th students can solve. Easy, basic time and distance questions, basic 1, 2, 4, 8, those questions, and I will give you. Which was the toughest year for CSAT? Toughest year for CSAT? 2023. I will give you one. I will give you one example for that. I will tell you why you are doing it on your own matters a lot. So let's take this question. So this question was asked in UPSC CSAT 2015. So look at that question. So there, one beautiful thing about this number is that, just have a look at it first. Take 2 minutes, have a look at it first. So one beautiful thing about 1001 is that, let's say any number in the format XYZ, XYZ, that is, take 123, 123, 1,23,123, it can be written as 123, that is XYZ into 1001. It can be written like this. So 123 into 1001 is 123, 123. That is XYZ into 1001 is XYZ, XYZ. And another beautiful thing about 1001 is that its all divisors are 1 into 7 into 11 into 13. Yeah. So these 7, leave 1 is fine. 11, 7, 11, 13, all are primes. So that is why this is one of the most favorite topics of UPSC. Now you can write 1001 as 7, 11, 13. You didn't know anything about this concept, let's say. So you solved CSAT 2015. So you immediately saw ABC into DEED is equal to ABC, ABC. So what is DEED? 1001. So what is D? 1, E is 0. D is 1, E is 0. You didn't solve it, let's say. You didn't solve it, but you understood it. Now come to the toughest CSAT year paper. 23. Now see, for any choice of values XYZ, 6-digit number form in the form of XYZ, XYZ, ABC, ABC, XYZ, XYZ. Same questions themes are getting repeated. Now see, like immediately you know it's 7:30. Like within seconds, you don't even need 2-3 minutes for one question. Within seconds. This is a easy question. Means 2023. I am telling, that is why I took 2023 questions only. 2024 questions, you can say it was easy, sir, I can do. 23 people, 23 IIM graduates didn't qualify CSAT. This is what, like, then, so why stop there? UPSC CSAT question number 3. Again, the same year they asked another question. This is a bit difficult, but I will explain what it is. So N is in the form of, so this is 9 is written 99 times. So what is the remainder of N when it is divided by 13? So now let's say 9 write 6 times, it forms under this pattern, right? XYZ, XYZ. Now if I write this 7 times, first 6 falls under XYZ, XYZ. Whatever this is left, if you divide it by 13, whatever the remainder is there, that is the final remainder that the question is asking about. That is, let's say 9 you are writing 8 times, 99 by 13. The remainder is the remaining remainder. Now 999, if you write 12 times, it forms under XYZ, XYZ, right? Right. Because it is getting just 6, 12, whatever, like it has to be in the multiples of 6, that's it. So that is, even if you write 9 96 times, which is a 12 8s are 96. Even if you write 9 96 times, it will form under that 1001 rule. But the 3 extras, that is 99 times, 96 times, if you write, it is forming under 1001 rule, and it is having that remainder as 0. Because it is getting divided by 13, which is its divisor. Now what is remaining? 999 is remaining. Now 999 divided by 13. What is the remainder? Check. The remainder is the answer. That is the solution. Same. Blocks you are converting into the same answer, what I have explained. If you didn't understand it, go to room, do your research and learn from it. That's it. See, like now you are understanding, right? Until you practice both in prelims and CSAT, in answer writing, even in communication, you won't improve. Until you practice. Practice is the most important aspect of your UPSC preparation. Reading is not practice. Reading is not practice. Practice is practice. That's it. There is no alternatives for practice. Don't think that I will read a book for 18 hours and not practice. Practice for 3 hours is better than reading for 15 hours. That is why there is a very good, I always say this, there is a wall and there is a door. You have to move to the next room. Doesn't matter if you push the wall for 100 days. If there is a door nearby, either open the door and go or break the door and go. Either put the smart work of opening the door and going. If the door is not opening, smart work plus hard work, kick the door and go. But if you keep on pushing the wall will remain there only. That's it. That's what the analogy is about. So just a minute, like I have covered almost everything. Yeah, revision, analyze, like I have covered almost everything. Now, what is analysis? Now, how many of you know about there is black and white in our life, and there is some gray zone on. What is gray zone? Means there is nothing good and bad. There is something always in between. That is called as gray zone. So now, even in recently, if you have read current affairs from anywhere, you know that there is something called as gray zone warfare. Operation Sindoor, recent Iran war and all. There is something called as gray zone warfare. That is warfare in unconventional manners. That is war. What is warfare? Two armies will come, two armies will fight. That is warfare. What is gray zone warfare? It will happen in cyberspace. It will happen through people manipulation. It will happen on social media, information warfare, cyber warfare. Then, then using non-civilians for warfare. That is the recent Delhi attack. A doctor was involved in the Delhi bomb attack, using civilians as for warfare. So they are called as gray zone warfare. Now let's say you read about that question in any of your mock tests. You didn't know, you got it wrong. Now, immediately see at the great market trading. Now, immediately your brain starts linking, analyzing, interconnecting. Now check the answer. Now, because you know gray zone warfare, now think what can be the answer for gray market trading. Which one? So answer is D. The D is because if you know that trading happens on official market, but you are trading which was meant to do on official market, but you are trading in unofficial market. That is not a black zone, that is not white zone, you are in a gray zone. So this is the gray market trading. So this is, see, like I didn't know about gray market trading at all, let's say. Now because I know gray zone warfare, I was able to connect. This happens when you practice, that is why. This happens when you analyze. That means, do you really think there are thousands of economic keywords, economic concepts? Do you think you will be able to cover them all? You can't. But you have to start interlinking. As I told, this is knowledge. It is impossible to gain all the knowledge, but this is wisdom. Wisdom is more important than knowledge. So, yeah. I have tried to cover almost all of the things. In my suggestions, I will cover, just like I have 3 suggestions, and we will conclude the session. And these are some top, like UPSC channels I personally used. You can just go through it. This is IVAS PCS Pathshala is very good for CSAT comprehension and all. I will share it on group. You don't need to write it down. This is for like, they are very good for strategy, how to complete Lakshmikant, like how I picked up all the things that I have said, note making, all this from this particular channel. I didn't have any mentor in my first 2 years of preparation. My only mentor was this channel. Like I used to follow each of his videos. That is why. Then Clarity for UPSC, Dr. Shivin, you will be mostly knowing, has very good strategies, very good thought process also. And he is also very blunt. If you have reached these videos, you know he is very to the face and blunt. You won't give masala, you won't give butter and all. He is to the face. That's what I like about him. PMFIS for geography and environment, exceptional. Both their PDFs, website, as well as their YouTube channel. Go and search for PMFIS geography. They have visual geography. Geography is something that is happening, right, visually. So monsoon, it is happening visually. So he has beautifully explained it through visual pictures, visual videos and all. So when you look it visually, you will be able to retain it for longer time. Then study smart UPSC. This is their CSAT is very good. Just like I told, there are 20 easy concepts. They have taken 20 easy concepts and they have made how to solve those videos. They have taken PYQs for every concept. Let's say time and distance. They have taken 5 PYQs, solved them. If there are any shortcuts, they have given here. Then 1 minute economics, especially for beginners. 1 minute economics, every economics concepts, bank rate, repo rate, debt, all those concepts are explained in 1 or 2 minutes. Simple, very basic channel for beginners. And for prelims also, it's really helpful. Then KMPathy for ethics. Their analysis of ethics is very good. Just like peer discussions, this also will help. And another is there. In Netflix, there is a very beautiful, in YouTube only, there is a beautiful web series called as Our Earth. Our Earth, that is really good for your environment preparation, because every year, if you see the recent trend, UPSC is asking 3-4 questions on species only. Most of the word to word they have picked from that web series only. 6, like even if you are very tired, like if you see Our Earth is what, like a Discovery Channel documentary, like that. Beautiful. Like you may not know about David Attenborough. He is one of the greatest biologists. His voice is so soothing. How many of you have watched Wild Karnataka? Wild Karnataka. Wild Karnataka you should be watching. Like Wild Karnataka is about Karnataka, 1 hour video that is. About Karnataka and Western Ghats, how beautiful it is, like that. It is narrated by David Attenborough. Puneet Rajkumar's Gandhada Gudi is there, right? Like that, Wild Karnataka is also there. That Amoga Varsha is, he has done Wild Karnataka. Beautiful series. You should be watching that. Then this is my Telegram channel. If you haven't joined, please join. And now before that, like I will conclude with 3 suggestions. One thing, hard work is non-negotiable. Whatever the people say, the hard work matters. Now I have said why half marks important. Why prelims? Because in the end, prelims has 14,000 seats and IITs have 18,000 seats. That means it is easier to clear IITs than to clear prelims because of the competition. And that is why hard work, non-negotiable. All these rules you may have understood so far. Just to do this, it will take so much humongous efforts. Prelims, 15,000 MCQs, then mains, all those analysis that I have said, interview 130 one-on-ones, it will take humongous efforts. Hard work is non-negotiable. Second, don't hesitate to go to your seniors, mentors, toppers, teachers, and ask them doubts, because you need courage. Even as an IAS IPS officer, you need boldness. The same boldness you should be showing before also. That is why don't say that I am an introvert, sir, I can't talk to people. When you become an IAS IPS officer, you can't be an introvert, because you have to talk to people on a day-to-day basis. You are addressing 100 people. Do you really can say that, like, I am an introvert, I won't talk to people? The UPSC will make you an extrovert if you are an introvert. That is what. That is second suggestion. Third suggestion, the second suggestion is just that always feel free to, like, always show, even if it is a very silly mistake, go and ask your seniors. Otherwise, if you can't understand, go. See, like, no topper will say no, no mentor will say no if you ask them, right? Like, have you met any topper saying, I won't guide you? Have you met any mentors like that? If you show, you have paid 1.5 lakh fees for coaching and all, exploit it. Make every penny worth it. If you have given 1.5 lakh, you should be getting 1.5 lakh worth back. Your mentors are there for that, and torture them. Torture them. If you have doubts, ask them. They are there for that reason only. And they have committed those mistakes. They don't want you to commit those mistakes. Go and ask them. If you ask them, you may not commit those mistakes again. That's why. And another thing, like make sure you are having a balance. Balance in the sense, just because I'm saying 12 to 15 hours, that doesn't mean you have to completely neglect your social life, completely neglect your mental health and everything. If you are giving 12 hours dedicated, fine. Other 12 hours, talk to your family for 1 or 2 hours, talk to your friends, talk to fine, give them the positive energy. That is, never give someone a negative energy. Don't keep the people who give negative energy to you around you. At the same time, don't give negative energy to others as well. Just because you are gossiping, just because of others shouldn't feel demotivated. From whatever you are doing, others should feel motivated. So keep your mental health accordingly and share as much as positive energy to others as possible. So, and I always suggest this, watch biographical movies. Watch biographical movies. Because now you don't have the time to sit for 1 month and read a book. But biographical movies, 2 hours movies will be there. Hollywood movies, take any biographical movies. If you watch Dangal, MS Dhoni, 12th Fail, then Manji, all of those movies inspired you, right? It gave you a different perspective about life. They gave you motivation. When you watch biographical movies, you will gain different perspectives about your life. See, what happens is you got very bad score in a mock, and then you are depressed for 2-3 days, and you watched some movie where the hero lost everything. He lost everything. For example, you should watch Rocky. Everyone should watch Rocky series. Rocky. Not the Rocky Rocky series. KGF also everyone should watch, that's fine. But Rocky is a 1976 movie, 75 movie. It's a boxing movie about boxing, but it's also about life. In the end of the Rocky movie, the hero loses. And you won't feel like the hero lost, because you have experienced the struggle along with him. You feel like the hero has won. Even though he lost the match, he has won in life. You will feel like that. See, now my perspectives are something different, right? That is what happens when you watch a lot of biography-based movies. Don't watch these masala movies, physics-defying movies. Don't watch them. Watch biography-based movies. Rather than scrolling Instagram for 2 hours, watch biography. See, I always use the title Captain Magnus. Captain, what does that captain stand for? Captain America. I took it from Captain America. Because I love his leadership style a lot. The way he sacrifices, the way he puts everyone in front of his wishes is what I learned from him. I got inspired. The same way I am inspired from Batman. There are other movies, there is The Schindler's List, then there is Inside Out that I am posting on group. Then there is a very beautiful movie called as Living. Living is a movie about a bureaucrat who spends his time, 30-40 years, within the files. Finally, through medical diagnosis, he gets that he has cancer. He is going to die in 6 months. Then he wants to live a purposeful life. What he does, and how he will be remembered, is that movie is about. Living. Living was released in 2022. Such a beautiful movie. So every time you watch a movie like this, you will gain some broader perspective. That is why, I am telling you, you will get saturated, you will get exhausted. Because 12 hours is not a easy task. Just rather than scrolling YouTube for 2 hours, watch in 1.2x. You will complete it in, see, most of the Hollywood movies are within 2 hours only. Most of them are 100 minutes video, 100-minute movies. And if you watch it in 1.2x, it's 80 minutes. Don't you have 80 minutes? You are wasting 80 minutes somewhere here and there. But if you, see, I can assure you, I have watched thousands of movies. Thousands of Hollywood movies. Not the masala ones, good ones only. And every time I watch a movie, my perspective about life gets broader and broader. So that's what. Now, we should be reading books also, personality development books. But we don't have the time now, UPSC. That's why we watch movies. Don't be mechanical. Don't be mechanical. I have to study for 15 hours. That will drain you out. Find a balance. That's it. So these are some of my suggestions. So thank you for attending the session, and if possible, everyone, please take 2 minutes of your time and like give me some suggestions for next sessions, because I will be taking classes for mains also, and I am planning to conduct CSAT session also. CSAT strategy. CSAT also already I have posted on my group. So many strategies I have already posted on my group. I will also take videos and all. So if you give your suggestions, I will improve on those suggestions in my upcoming sessions. In mains, for those who clear prelims also, through Primus only, like we will try to take answer writing classes. I have already taken answer writing classes called as BAB, basic to advanced answer writing classes. Ask anyone who has attended BAB classes, you will realize they are one of the best classes you will ever attend in your life. That is because in 25 hours, I have shared the experience of 4-5 years of my preparation. So we will take, for those who clear prelims, we will take those sessions. But for that, I need your suggestions. Please give me your feedback. Just take your 2-3 minutes and give me your feedback. So thank you. Thank you for attending the session. Thank you for sitting through nearly 3 hours, 3.5 hours. But I found like I feel like I am very confident that you found this session really useful, because usually through proper strategy sessions, we learn about what we listen to toppers saying that we should do PYQ analysis, we should do answer writing, we should read that book, read this book. They don't tell how. How is the major game, because if you don't understand how, then you would be struggling to find that how for 2-3 years. Then once you understand how, then you would be able to understand the demand of the exam also. That is why I try to make it a completely unique one. I try to address the how part also, and why I have trailed. Why? Because the psychology of the exam. Because why? Because in the end, you don't become a civil servant once you clear the exam. You are a civil servant who is just writing an exam. There's a difference. Just because you cleared an exam, you won't become an IPS officer. You are an IPS officer without the uniform, who is just writing an exam. That's it. There is a difference. There's a big difference. So that is why. So improve your personality also. So this I have addressed how and why also. So resources I will share on my Telegram. Please follow that. Otherwise the video will go for another 3 hours. Fine. So thanks a lot. Please give your feedback. Thank you.